Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Mijn naam is Viggy. En ik maak live videos, reviews. Mostly of Yiddish. If I'm finding to the video, please consider to give my like. Like a video gaat een lange, riesige weg. I must say.
Up on the rooftop, laundry lines sway slow, plastic chairs, cracked blue paint, neighbors laughing 3 floors below, salt on my skin from the busted hydrant spray, traffic hum,
Beland reviewen.
all the stress just melts away.
Beri, gang het on your business podcast. Ik wil gewoon geven mijn review. Yankee T. How are you? You had a great day? That's nice. Hold on. I got you there. I'm glad to hear dat dan toegegangen gaat. It's refreshing. Bim, 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 bim.
The spliff is lit, the night is high. Smoke dance off across the sky.
Het is game maar voor minute bis met onaiden.
Spirits rise.
Bis me vet, we'll get into it.
Through the haze where vision lies. Feel the hurt, feel the tide. Roots run deep in fertile ground. Farmer wisdom all around. Listen close to the rolling sound.
Zie je aan het schwere tog. We gedacht schaden, schnai.
Echoes call
It was one of those days. It was one of those days.
every joy.
By the way, as a hubbing do, Sean. And if you don't mind hitting the like button, see you
Herbal vibration temporize.
guys a lange weg.
Through the haze where vision lies. Feel the hurt, feel the tide.
Ellie. Hello and welcome, Ellie. How you doing? Wie zijn gewend aan het talk? Welcome. Ik wil gaan reviewen de Beri Weber of None of Your Business podcast. En ik ben een fan van Beri, so.
When I'm a
Ik wil alweer gaan vinden. In the coming soon.
Hands on the drum,
Is ook BH. Nice. Zo maar dan hoe het ze heren, Ellie.
free the mind.
Ik ga even naar aan checken, though.
Smoking
I appreciate you. Toen heb ik in a few. Ich gedenk noch, wenn Beri ungeheuben singen. In der alle Wegen, wie gekannt gehen. Und wie ist umgekommen, ist very impressive. Einer so singen für so lang und bleibt mal so lang auf der, the needle pointen auf die ganze Zeit. Kommt sich mal Sachcredit. You know what I mean? Consistency. Consistency is key though. Mit dem. Ich habe von Tief, CD und Avrum Fried, but ich bin ein größerer Fan von Beri Weber, so we're gonna stick to that. Yankee Osh, 8 Schuhe zurück. Kann man machen, eine kleine Music Review fahren? No, let's... Oh wow, kiek on a setup. Oh, this is the... Ich habe schon gesehen, dass Konzert war der Platz. Jetzt ist Rudig sich ganz Gitarre aufgeregt auf die ganze machen Concerts und stuff. Ich rede durch hasidische Welt. They went up a couple of levels, not gonna lie. So we're running 7:10. It's a 7:06. We'll give it a 4 minutes. Ich habe bekommen eine E-Mail von einer hat mir geschickt ein Video zu reviewen und ich sehe ja jetzt, sie geworden ein hot topic heranzugehen in jiddische Communities mit Kameras und Fragen, Kashas und sie geht da Pick-off Speed und sie tut sich und der Oilem tanzt darauf. Man darf es ignoren und fertig. So wie ich so, wenn man sieht eine Swastika, eine gespraypainted Swastika, und ob die siehst, dass es da mal ein Youngster, was hat es getan, just paint over it und gegangen weiter, mach ich kein Nuss. Keili ist kein Mulgunisch geschehen. I think that would be like the best move towards it. Wir machen eine ganze Sache. Nehmen the high road is usually a bessere idea. Immer eine kleine Opinion. 7:08. We're doing it in 7:10. Hat Silber gehit 117. Crazy the number. Was hat gehit? Ja, 117,770. Imagine Alabavitcher 770 Ping dort gekauft a Short. Gemacht an das Geld. Would have made nice money. Sie gegangen für 117, rupt sie 101, $17. In der Mäsche von 2 Schuhe. 2-3 Schuhe. Just crazy. Die Sachen riechen sich schnell. And especially as a Silber.
vibration. Light up the earth now. Pure meditation.
Okay, 7:10.
Healing plantation.
Lass mal runterhalten mit Beri Weber, du, by None of Your Business podcast. 3 days ago, 4,100 views. Let's get into it.
On the stage, on a Hess concert or in front of thousands of people, and I sing, I Am on My Island.
None of your business, Oshi. Michael and Oshi. None of your business podcast. I'm your host, Michael Greenfield. With me, of course, is co-host Oshi Schwartz. And we are sponsored by Prime Source. We are produced by Prime Source. So thank you for the Prime Source production team. Thank you to all our subscribers, our listeners, our feedback. No matter what it is, we are loving it. We are doing amazing work, Oshi, and we are growing. And speaking of growth, we are here with someone who helped me grow in life, and I'll explain that in a moment. Beri.
Bei der Chabanu, some gechange ihr setup. Some geteen dezelfde Sache wie, wie sie heißt, the one from England, Push It Pshat. Weil die sind eben in der Mitte. Du bei der Interday Sign ist nicht comfortable für den Guest, weil wenn der Guest redet, will reden zu einem Mensch. So Chabanu.
Welcome to the program.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you being here. Beri, I don't know if you remember, but I'm sure you get that a lot. You don't remember me?
Yeah, I get it all the time. And I'm a guy who don't remember, which is very, very difficult. Probably my most difficult thing when it comes to, being in public. Like, oh, not again. He's challenging me again. Do you remember me? I'm like it could be my customer. I could lose a job.
Wow. Eleonora singen. Ich kann Memory Savant Guy. And just imagine the pressure was man hat zu gedenken. Weil, stell dich vor, jener fragt dich, jener ist vulnerable. Jener ist like, oh, du gedenkst mich nicht. Sei, du gedenkst mich nicht. Ich finde, 6 Jahre zurück ergens doen, hab ich ein Lächeln.
It could be somebody who would be offended and so on.
Exactly.
And it's like, I just see so many faces every day. And it's, some people have that talent where they're like, picture, store it, not me.
Right.
You just play along. You just pretend.
I try my best.
No, but some
And
people
then
will
you
be
move
like,
on.
what you don't remember? Try to remember.
Yeah, but you know what the problem is? That some people say, what do you mean you don't remember me? And I start really feeling bad. Like, wow, like it's probably like I met him yesterday and I forgot. Like I'm like so off. And then after 10 minutes schlepping and this, he's like, what do you mean? You were like, we met 12 years ago. I'm like, for that I had to feel bad because I met you 12 years ago.
Beri, 10 years ago I met you. I think it was
Shimmy, 2 sparkles. Hello and welcome. How you been? It's been a minute. Wow. Shimmy. Of course. Hello and welcome, Shimmy. YE4CT. How you doing? What's going on? What's going on, Tuk? Welcome. Bisnaidu? Welcome.
a little more than 10 years ago, and it was by Heshi Kleiman's house, and we were doing a fundraiser for some organization, and we heard a song. We were all chilling, walking around, schmoozing, and there was someone who looked very put together with a beautiful voice, and we were listening in the background. Suddenly came on a song, Rebind. That's when we heard it for the first time.
10 years ago?
Yeah, it was over 10 years ago when we heard it. It's before you produced it, before you came out with it.
Oh, before it came out.
Yeah, you were singing it before it came out.
Oh, wow.
I think so, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So we all we stopped what we were doing, and it was like magical. I'll never forget. It was like Naftali, Heshi, Tavi. We were all around. What's going on here? Suddenly it was all quiet, and we started moving slowly towards you, and we all started getting mesmerized by the song. It was just.
Was never on the live, but watch your videos. Oh, nice. Thank you. And welcome to the live.
I think it was the first time in a very long time that I heard a singer take a song and just play around with it through his neshama. That's what I felt like.
Gee.
Wow.
And it was such a major
chashivas.
connection to me then. And then, of course, I started going to wedding after wedding, and I hear the most famous "I'm on my way." I'm so curious. Before we start, is that something that you
Shin
coined? Is something that
Perez.
you picked up on? That
Hello,
whole
welcome.
process of "I'm on my way."
I grew up. My father was a Shlomo Kalbach fan. So I grew up listening to his music. Although I would say probably 95% of my environment felt that it's wrong to listen to his
Nice way of saying Viviakim to my environment. I
music. I even got once As a kid, in 8th grade, I was punished because I had a cassette of Shlomo Carlebach. He brought it in Ched. It was a day trip, but I was.
Heerst nu moest de weg was red. In Yiddish is es sach mehr betamt. In English is es schwer, wenn einer was tracht in Yiddish. Und ich red von mir allein. Just der Weg, wie man darf sich expressen. Es ist schwer zu lassen free.
Like, you listen to his music, left back. You know, like he wanted to degrade me.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Let's go back a little.
I mean, we could probably think of many worse things in life.
Yeah.
Right? For a school to reprimand a student because he has a Shlomo Carlebach CD. It's like,
I mean,
it just boils my blood.
Well,
It's really angry. And a lot of people have that moment. That this is why people go off the derech, right? This is one of those reasons.
Well, in their defense,
Reason number 182 on the list.
Neemt zich gewoon.
This is it.
well, in their defense, none of them trying to defend anyone. Just to put in perspective, certain cultures have certain values, and when you're in a culture and you act differently, in order for it to make you aware that this is not appropriate and so on, they would give you a consequence. Now, every
Gemeint alle Jiden zijn Jiden. Is er niet ook een difference?
cheder, every school has different
How?
Why tolerance levels and so on and so on. Happens to be it wasn't against the rules of this particular teacher, this particular Malamed. He was like a very from guy. For him, he probably lost himself. He's like,
Ja, dat was... Again, the 5-star general. In the Beshefes
my whole
Armai.
life is that Shlomo Carlebach is not, he's not, the most decent guy to be able to listen to and so on. Maybe because of that, I'm so obsessed with Reb Shlomo now. I don't know, but Reb Shlomo is definitely my
Hero.
Reb Shlomo.
well, if only your 8th grade Rebbe could hear you now.
Reb Shlomo.
So how did that thing come to play in the chuppahs, the I'm on my way thing? How did that happen?
I don't remember exactly how it started, but I guess I was trying to be creative once, and I felt like, it was probably like a spiritual wedding or something, and I probably just was being free and creative and just did that because...
Free and creative. Wieveel jaren er niet gekend zijn free, en wieveel jaren er niet gekend zijn creative. This is the sad part van nicht lassen Kinder exploren their talents. It's sad. Music Manning. Hello and welcome. How you doing? We're going on talk. How you doing?
Shlomo used to sing it, and I felt like before you sing a Meshkachech, before there's the Yichud, before, when you bring together the Chas and the Kala, Klal Yisrael and Hashem, we need a house, right? Yeah? The couple is building a house, and Hashem doesn't have a house. So we're saying, Hashem, don't worry, we're on our way. It's in our head.
Wow.
So exactly when it started,
That's beautiful, actually.
I don't know.
It's okay. Tell us a little bit about your background. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your name? Is it Beri? Is there another name? Where did you grow up? Tell me about your family. Where are your parents from? Do you have siblings? Just tell me as much as you can in terms of your background and your upbringing and just a little bit about who you are.
Right. So let's try to
Jetzt geht das.
make it
Was nicht zu sagen, Was nicht.
simple. I grew up in Williamsburg.
Oh. Is poepen?
My
Is that paper?
family, the reason my family was
Thank you,
brought
Music
up
Manning. Nice.
in the Pupa community
That's all.
is because my grandfather, my father's father, was a brother-in-law with a Pupa Rebbe.
Oh, Shivas.
So we're like
Rebbe's
family.
mansion, yeah.
Not the Puparoof.
the Pupa roof that you say that, that
There's like a joke about that,
yeah,
right?
the joke, like Pupa roof,
Puparoof.
right? A Satmar wanted to keep
He doesn't know what we're talking about.
that's okay, we gotta educate that guy.
He's modern Orthodox. He doesn't.
Besides the trauma that my Rebbe, punished me for having Reb Shlomo, I have another trauma. I grew up in Pupa.
Oh, yeah.
And Pupa, because it was, side by side with Satmar and Williamsburg wanted to have the dominance. So anybody that was in their way.
When my dad said from back in the day, ze zijn so stupid, but yet is ze gewesen so prevalent damals. Sie gehen so wie, man gewollt de Sachen in Wilhelmsburg, so wir gegangen nach Kegen, so hat sich auch getan.
Hey,
Beide eigentlich sehen nicht, du, but dann mach ich wegkriegen, sein Tisch ist a guitar, which is nice.
would be dealt with a different way. Bells, sounds. trying not to be negative, but it's
There's the Tish. Pretty cool Tish, not gonna lie. All right, back to the podcast.
just my youth.
Right.
And then Puppa was labeled Puppaner.
Yeah.
So you're like, Puppaner, you don't matter,
Wow.
Lots of politics, Michael.
Your lives don't matter. So we BLM dacht maar, mijn Papa life matter.
Yeah.
When it comes to
Okay.
different
I'm learning.
Hasidas,
I'm learning.
especially within Williamsburg, which, like you said, was dominated by Satmar. Like they had the identity of Williamsburg was Satmar, but there were others that are trying to like stake their claim a little bit, make their mark.
Okay, so you grew up as a pupper.
I grew up as a Puppa.
As a Papa.
And so by default, I was in the Cheder yeshiva. And then once I outgrew the yeshiva, I went to Eretz Yisrael in the Mir.
Oh,
So I went to Eretz Yisrael in the Mir. I was there for 3 years.
wow.
Really, really opened my eyes, really changed my life. Just like you found out there's a thing of Rebbeinu Tam's tefillin, I found out that there's Jews in the world.
Yeah,
I thought-
das ist die Sache, wenn man kommt in a very enclosed situation, und man meint an nur, was man weiß, ist die Sache, man geht daraus, öffnet sich auf die Augen, and it's weird.
This is only Williamsburg. I mean, not that.
So you grew up
terrible.
sheltered. You grew up very enclosed in your community.
It happens to be my father wasn't a closed-minded person, was very open-minded, didn't shelter us very much unless it was something that was wrong according to halacha and so on. I grew up very happy. He was there for us. He was Hashem, he was dealing, and when I was 18, he trusted me to go in Israel. I mean, today it's a style. Everybody goes to Israel, but back then it wasn't so popular. Everybody goes to Israel. You kind of need to be a little open-minded, a little free-spirited to allow your kid to go somewhere. I know in your world, and today even in my world, it's the standard. But back then it was. I remember when I came back, and somebody taught me how to play guitar. I was the only Hasidic guy who walked around with a guitar. It was like.
I mean, you have Hasidim even back then that played instruments.
Well,
Was that something that
there
wasn't?
were only two. There were only two. One was Joel Brach, Oliver Shulam,
Oh, Yoli
Saxophone?
Brach. Yeah.
and one was Yankee Katina.
Guitar.
Guitarist.
But both of them were kind of more of like a.
So, sie sind gewähnt Bombers. Sie sind gewähnt ugefuhren. Sie sind gewähnt arup von Weg. So, was sie nicht considered. Mastermind. Hello and welcome.
I would say I don't know modern, but they were considered not someone who is
Hasidic.
they wouldn't. You're gonna laugh for me because you don't understand a little the culture, but like they were shaving their beards. They were like into their into their fitness and
Right.
like
Goyish
I'm just
left.
giving you an example, and I'm not saying necessarily that was the
Yeah.
case. It's like a certain type of guy.
Right.
Like when you grow up in Chassidisha, you're expected to not be in touch with the worldly things.
Wow.
They're a little more out of the box.
So until 18, you did you sing at all? Like to the
So I grew up. I mean, my family, they all know how to sing. And again, back in the days, you have to understand that the evolution of singing, b'chlal, I mean, in the last 10, 20 years, changed so much. It wasn't like a okay thing or a mechubadige thing to be a singer. It was okay. So technically, you kind of didn't make it in the business world, or you didn't become a Talmud Chacham. So you're like
Yeah.
doing that. Like
It was considered second class,
it was kind of like second class. When I started off my life with my family, the Moisdes over here could not handle that there's a singer. I had issues with. They didn't accept me in the Moisdes. I was for 2 years running from place to place to place to place to place.
Just imagine.
Except my children, and their only issue was the fact that I'm a singer. It wasn't. I mean, that was the era of Liebisch Meltzer. Liebisch Meltzer. He did controversial things. He went on a concert and wearing a brown suit instead of a black suit. It's like opening the eyes of everyone. It's not so long ago, but
right.
But this is how the world changed today.
Kennst du den Weg, wie sie lacht? Das hat schon nicht gemacht, kein Sens dämmels. Chonish kan picture from Brach of.
It's okay. Today it's a world of social media. It's a way that we see everything and so on. YouTube didn't exist then 20 years ago.
For sure. So I'm curious. So you got a guitar. You start to play.
So as a child, I was singing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the thing that every child who knows how to sing becomes automatically a sensation and a wonder child. You know, I knew how to sing. I even sang on albums. I sang on Malcolm and David's album.
Oh, nice.
I sang on.
What did you sing?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
do you remember it?
I remember it.
What is it? Would I know it?
It's called Nagina Beis Abba. It's one of his albums.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a collection album of.
So as a kid, you sang with him.
Yeah.
So how did they even know about you? How did they know you existed?
So how they knew? So I guess even by weddings, it wasn't a style like every wedding didn't have a singer. Somebody knew how to sing. They would take a mic. It didn't have any effects. It wasn't professional and so on. I remember by my brother's wedding, I liked to sing, so I sang on the mic. I was the entire wedding that. Can you imagine going to a wedding? You see a child singing on the mic, a 10-year-old singing an entire wedding. Like
Wow.
it's weird, but that's what I did then. So it was known that I know how to sing. It was a cousin's wedding. I would go with 2 other cousins.
Sam. Hello and welcome. Sam Bam Wham. Proud Papa. Yeah.
And sing on the mic.
Ach, schozik.
And
Hello.
then I guess someone, it was JJ Fried.
JJ Fried.
JJ Fried.
We know JJ Fried.
Do we?
Yeah, he lives in your
Toner
area.
Quest.
He lives in your
Oh,
area.
okay.
Plug for Toner Quest.
JJ Fried was then like a hacker. He was like involved with MBD and all the Jewish superstars.
I have to say this. I'm sorry, JJ. I love you. He told me once. He had one time he was showing me his hair in his ears, and I'm like, "Achi, you have a lot of hair in your ears." He goes, "I never cut it because the vibrations help me hear music. So when I sing and I make music, it helps me." JJ, love you.
We love
cut
you.
the hair. But so he got you into it, which is interesting. Okay, so throughout your journey, when did you?
So JJ was someone who understands
Yeah,
sound and whatever, as you said.
vibrations.
I don't know. But yeah, so he kind of was involved. He was involved with Suki and Ding when they produced albums and so on. So he was kind of like the go-to guy when it came to talent or whatever, I guess.
He made the connection.
He saw and he read, like, this is the job of a producer. He sees something, we all see talent, we just get entertained. A producer, his brain works differently. He's like, ooh, let's make a business out of it. Let's fix it. And I guess, he saw something. He said, okay, I could use this voice on this album. So he used me for many albums. I sang on MBD's album, Mendy Werdiger, MBD's brother, Jonas Schwartz. I did their Kinder Classics. First Kinder Classics. I did Moshe Goldman, Bobov, Machne Shalva, Bobov albums and so on. So, but I wasn't like a front runner. I wasn't like, I wasn't the Chiev. I call it a Chiev. Today every kid who knows how to sing becomes a Chiev. He has to say Kaddish. He has to go on the mic, whether you like it or not. But so I knew how to sing, and like I had an inner belief that that I can probably sing better than others. So when I was in Israel and I went.
Die kleine Information, dass auch hat genie confidence in sich. Wissen die, als geht werden als Singer. Nice.
To the shuk leading to the Koisel, and there was like guitars for sale, and the guy just blocked my path. You want to buy this? Guitar? So I said no, but he wouldn't let me go. And then, then we bargained for, 50 shekel. I bought my guitar, and I had a guitar, so now I have to learn how to play it. And then
Imagine, Beri, wenn wenn finden, du hast ihm geherig zu music theory, line on music, just wie talent will gekannt gehen.
I started playing, so that's, once I started playing, I started composing. So I got into the zone. I got into the zone.
Liebe.
When I got married,
Thank you so much,
when I got married,
how you doing?
I wasn't considering being a singer. It was just I was in construction, and then
That was your first job, construction.
Imagine Beri. Wat she gewinnt kan zingen, er wel een busy met construction.
Yeah,
What a waste.
I right away got into construction.
Wow, what did you do?
I did railings, woodwork. I
Really?
installed railings, yeah. And And
Beri, the
and then
woodworker.
in 2008, there was the crash. There was no
housing.
work, there's no jobs, and I had a lot of time myself. I was home basically like most of the time. I was newly married, 2 years after my wedding maybe, and my wife told me that her friend's husband, at night, he goes to Koil, and when he finishes this, he goes at night. He goes to the studio.
Hello and welcome.
And he sings choir, and they get paid.
Ike, bist Naidu of the chat? Hello and welcome. Hold on. Do we know Ike? No, man, you have my checkos. Hold on. Hey, Ike.
I think it was $12 an hour or so on.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the professional worker who gets up 6 o'clock in the morning, and I get $10 an hour.
I'm glad you
And
enjoyed
he
it.
gets
Ike.
$12 just for singing. Hook me up. So I went, and there was a guitar there. So I started playing, and the guy was like, "Huh? A regular chassid is playing guitar? No way. You're like a celebrity."
That was the beginning of the.
Beri seems very loose. Very, very loose. Too loose, I would say. Boss Nation. Hey, yo. Hello and welcome. How you doing? Where's it going on too?
And
That was the beginning of the end.
wow.
Next day, I brought my Nana guitar. He was like, "Huh? Nana? Like a regular guy? You're not crazy? And you have a Nana guitar?" So he right away called up his friend, which is Naftali
Nice,
Schnitzler.
Ege.
Naftali Schnitzler was 3 months after, he got married, and he always dreamt of being a producer. He's like, "I think we have a good shidduch over here. There's a guy, he has a unique voice. I heard him, he knows how to play. It's more than just another singer. And you want to produce, maybe you want to meet the guy." And so it happened. And so I started working with Schnitzler. And the rest is history.
Wow. Speaking of history, then what was your first album? What was your first?
Weer again zijn eerste gasten. That would be nice to know.
So we started off with the single. We put out a single, which I don't think it was the style to put out singles. I mean, today, because there's social media and there's
YouTube.
platforms, online platforms, you can just put out whatever you want. You could put out a voice note, a podcast, whatever. Back then, everything was printed. It was a CD. So what do you mean a single?
Why put out a
How do-
CD just
how do-
for one song?
I couldn't put out a CD for one song.
Right.
And online, it wasn't very.
The distribution digitally
Yeah.
changed the game, that you can do these kinds of things. Back
Hand macht de Sensor eine zou rausgeben, but damals ist noch geen YouTube wie Hand. So noch geen music gehirig online. So it's gonna be a leap forward.
then,
Remember what the first song? I mean,
It was Balakim Batafti. I put out a music video to it too, which was also like eye-opening. Like it wasn't like doing an official music video wasn't. I think it was like maybe 2-3 videos before me. Like just like Hask put together something for Lipa and so on, but it wasn't like anybody who puts out a song puts out a music video. So this was like a little different. I raised the eyebrows of people to like, oh, something new, something fresh. And I'm assuming that's probably the reason why, these schools were afraid. Like, where are you heading? Like, what is next? Hollywood? We don't want that in our school.
Well, kijk aan de week, hij macht even nog de poenum.
I'm assuming that's probably the reason
Funny.
why, these schools were afraid. Like,
Beri's
where are you
face.
heading?
Where you heading?
What is next? Hollywood? We don't want that in our schools. So, all right, I'm not dealing with you. Try someone else.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the beginning. We do something in the beginning of our podcast that's called ChatGPT Says What About You.
Okay.
And you're like, whoa, okay, what's coming? So I want to tell you, I mean, we know you. The world knows you. I'm assuming most of our listeners know you, but I read through it and I was like, okay, this episode doesn't require perhaps one of those ChatGPT.
I like
but
that.
it's something in here that I was like looking at and I was like, okay, I know he's very involved in music, and I'll just tell you quickly in case you ever ChatGPT'd yourself.
Yeah. Like it's like a bio, right?
Yeah. Did you ever actually do it on yourself to see what does the
Probably
world
did.
say about you?
If not me, then it was my children. I don't know.
The first thing it says is before the stages, the spotlight and weddings, he was already showing up for kids who were falling through the cracks, quietly, consistently, and without Instagram applause. Now,
Yeah, how do they know that?
I don't know. I don't know. So I'm curious what that is. I do know that I've, Tuvia, who's one of my friends, introduced me to you a long time ago, and you came on our pontoon boat, and you brought a couple of Bachrim with you.
But that was already after.
I didn't even know what that was. I couldn't understand. We didn't really schmooze then, but I must ask you, what does that mean?
Oh, zijn yeshiva, daar gaat hij yeshiva, en zijn we de hartslag.
Give me that background of you. And
Okay, so well, obviously, everything has in the root something that that eventually allows for it to show certain fruits. So if this is my being, if this is my reality now, obviously there's something in my root that. So, as I was a boch in yeshiva, I always would rather pick a chavrusa, someone who I could be their mentor in a sense. But then when I was in Israel, I found out about a yeshiva that was on a farm next to Bet Shemesh. These were for kids that came from broken homes, like
Nice.
orphans or kids that they just come from families that the father and mother wouldn't get along or whatever, like just
dysfunctional.
En het is gaf nog eenmaal? Oder een nieuwe yeshiva? Interesting. Wenn du mal wusste geworden between the alte and the neue. Like, wusste man sich ausgelernt. But very important as Chevre sollen wie zu gehen. Sach lives gesaved.
Dysfunctional backgrounds. And this guy he had a house, they rented a house for them and basically kept them occupied the whole day just by being farmers in a sense. So they would be they would do their teenager stuff or whatever. Like it wasn't there were no smartphones. Maybe there was. I don't really remember. No, maybe they were smart, but like they had their gamings and their computers and so on. But the most time they would do creative stuff like planting, being busy with animals, and so.
Get the healthy stuff.
Signed up to be involved over there, so I would go every night. I would go there.
He only closed because of money. He didn't have enough. That's sad.
And just make sure. So basically, shadow them. Be
like a Big Brother program.
Right. So I would sleep.
Besides van zijn Big Brother program, so ook het wenn a Chevreman hat, wo se in Mittentog en hat obligations en het af zijn busy mit a farm, nehmt es weg the urge to teen crazy stuff outside of those times. So se beruhigt der Mensch. Darf es mehr anführen bei jedem. A viele bis der geherige gitte Woche. Like, what's the issue?
There, I would, when I finished yeshiva.
The first one, he didn't have money? All right. Jetzt hat ja Geld? What's the good change?
4 o'clock in the afternoon,
I
would take
Beri?
a ride to get to that place. I would spend there the whole night and wake them up in the morning and then go back in the morning yeshiva. So basically, I was their entertainment. I basically took care of them. So that was really my first introduction to something to that extreme. So probably this is what ChatGPT. I don't think I ever spoke about this. Maybe I did. I guess I did, because how would ChatGPT know about that? So
or someone else spoke about it.
Somebody else, pictures, videos.
So that was your first eye-opening to the world of dysfunction and family and boys that have challenges.
Enjoy mastermind
and mentoring as well.
Yeah, so because I would sit with them. I would my guitar. I would chill. We would take donkeys at night. Every night we had a lot of donkeys. Everybody would sit on donkey. We'd walk out to half hour outside on a mountaintop. We'd sit down, watch under the stars, and we'd put a fire and sing,
nice.
Yeah, that was and of course when this happened, everybody felt very intimate.
Van wo steht man das nur mit der schwache Bochum? Der gitte Bochum darf man das nicht? Like, how does that work?
Why? Vulnerable to be able to share and so on and so on. And I didn't have any experience in psychology or of how to deal with emotional issues and so on, but I just used my common sense to just to act appropriately, I would say, and then just to be a listening ear and so on.
And provide friendship.
Yeah. And by the way, listening ear is huge. Listening ear can go such a long way So
And
Love and
Finish
support.
just
That's
listening
typically
again.
what people most of the
What,
time
what
do.
did you learn from that whole
experience.
Well,
time that you were doing this?
I'll be very honest with you. You know, I see it every day when I'm in yeshiva. There's a lot of knowledge that is being gifted to them, and I always when I get to think like how much of that do they really absorb? Like they're 16, 17-year-olds. Like their mind does not function the way like somebody who had life experiences and so on. You know, I'm not talking about somebody who's smart or not smart, but I'm talking even like life experiences.
Every book need
allows
to
you
pay.
to
I
observe
see.
certain understanding of certain realities and so on. So, you know, I can share, and some professionals could share their professional experiences and opinions and guidance and so on, but it's only how much you could absorb, you know, it's how much you get. So I think at that point, my brain didn't work in a, I mean, it definitely didn't work the way it works now, but I was just like more of like a robot, like just doing my thing. Like I wasn't like with, you know, okay.
Sie nicht gewähnt deep, hat nicht gehad kein ganzer Cheshben, wo es geht hin, wieso geht hin, a method. Hat just geht hin, sie gewähnt a need, man hat es gedacht oben, und hat es getan. Der angejumpt.
Maybe it was, but I definitely don't remember. Like that it was like for me like life lessons, and it was like very deep and like very meaningful. I was just like
It wasn't strategic or calculated.
I consider myself like as a hippie. Like I can do that. I'm a Hasidic guy who can just chill out on a farm and not be afraid of animals, and you know, just ride on a donkey and be there for kids who are not Hasidic, and so on and so on. For me, it was like a trip. It was like a journey. It was like a you know, like on the outskirts.
Yeah,
You know?
best way to live. That's the best
It's
way.
like it's a certain, you know, I didn't.
Unburdened.
Yeah, it wasn't like a growth. I mean, now
Viele so wie Kamala Harris. Unburdened by what has been burdening us.
if I look back at it, it was definitely something that it just, you know, it gives me perspectives on certain things and so on. I grow from it now.
Yeah.
But back then, I didn't feel necessarily that, you know, this is what gives me life tips or so on. It was, for me, like a form of entertainment. Or like...
Wieso pronounce man dem Nummer 7823? Hello and welcome. Betzal Altered. Hello and welcome. How you doing? It's Naidu. Welcome. How you doing?
An outlet for me to be able to
Is it
do
going on
what
talk?
I did and make me feel good and so on.
So fast forward a little bit. This yeshiva that you're involved with, I mean, so Ushi, what you don't know about our relationship is that we met each other a few weeks ago. First of all, I met him in the beginning. I have to say this because it's just fun to talk about. When we started off our podcast, I had made 5 phone calls
Sadly.
to different people, asking them to come on or what their
Hello,
thoughts
welcome.
are. And one
How
of
was
them
your
was
day?
to this holy soul over here. And he tells me, listen, what you basically said to me was, everybody likes to start things. Everybody likes to start things. And when you have it and you're doing it for more than a year and you have enough subscribers that are actually making impact on this world, call me. And then I met him in the Shuk a few months
Nice,
ago,
Betzal.
and I had the opportunity to meet your whole family.
Get ahead.
And I said, remember that discussion? We're there. Ushi and I got there, so I need you to come on. And then a few weeks ago, we met when you were, I came to a meeting by Yissi Chern's house, and Beri
is
was there
good,
with a
Sally.
few people, and they were discussing opening up a
Somebody tell
yeshiva
BH.
for boys that don't fit in. And it was at the same time that I started this journey of reopening up a school in Muncie for high school for girls that was shutting down mid-year. And we were both looking at each other, and I was like, let's divide and conquer. You go ahead and take care of the boys that need that, and I'll go ahead and take care of it. And Baruch Hashem, I have to say, a month later, our school, our opening house is now, and you know, we're doing fantastic. It's the new Ma'oros Rav Hirsch.
And the
It's,
yeshiva is also running.
and the yeshiva is also running, so we partnered
Now
with
we-
each other in that moment.
Today we finished the first week.
Wow, chazak.
Ah,
I mean,
nice.
I've done yeshiva. I mean, I've done this yeshiva in the past, and I just reopened because there was a lot of challenges. Whatever, I don't think I should go into it. But the point was that I got pushed by my Rebbe, Shemaiah Morgenstern. He was like, that's definitely the reason why I did it. But before I was going to jump in again and restart, mean to say, I was involved the entire time since I started 10 years ago till now. I was constantly involved in different ways. Like, you know, I was, until today, you know, there's the Left Teen Center. And the Lev Torah Yeshiva, whatever, they have their good day, and I'm still involved. And I was there yesterday, and I still talk to them, and I help out, what I could. But running the whole program, like financially and being the
Gang
the
98.
responsible guy, that I didn't do for 2 years.
How you doing? How was your day?
And now I just had a whole new group of boys that just came forward. Whatever, we can get into it, how it happened. But Lemai said the
1-9.
the nail on the coffin, in a good way. What made it happen was technically easy turns. That support, we were looking for partners and support. Like, I knew from experience exactly what could help something and what could make it collapse, because I've been through both. And the last thing that we wanted to have on top of everything being in place, we needed a support from people who have wide shoulders. And you see, he's one
Futter in ganzen. Es ist all big Geld.
of them. Thank you, Hashem. He was masking right away to be there for whatever he could help, and so on. And you were there to witness it. So we went there, and Yissi said right away, absolutely. And you also jumped in. You said right away, I'm here to help. I know what I could help, what I can't help, but I'm like, any help. We have a lot of people who always say, "Oh wow, I wanna." They say
Nice
in Yiddish,
gang.
"Zizugen and liebhuben doesn't hurt. Promise and to love doesn't hurt." Right?
Das
But it
sucht sich
does-
nicht. Sucht sich so geht auf Englisch. Ziehungen und Liebe kostet nicht kein Geld. Sucht sich Sach besser in Yiddish wie in Englisch. In Englisch verliert es der ganze Point of View. Es verliert der ganze...
It hurt when somebody promises you and you rely on the person, and then
They don't come through. Yeah.
No, it's funny. During the building of this, I just want to mention Rabbi Center. God bless you, Rabbi Center, and your whole family, and all the Rabbanim and all the community board members that helped restart this school in the middle of the year. He taught me one thing very, very important. When I was going around to create a collective board, and everyone's like, what am I going to do? What do you want from me? And Rabbi Center said a great, great idea. He said, do what's in your ability to do.
right.
And it was so smart, because then it's like, okay, a calm feeling. Like, you're not asking me to do something I can't do. Ask me to do something I could do. And we created, thank God. And we both finished our first week this week, by the way. So much stuff too.
nice.
Yeah, this
Mazel
week
tov.
was the end of the
Mazel
first week of the school. Yeah, chazak.
Look at you guys taking over the world. I had also a hard week, by the way, for the record. I just want to say that I was in the office the whole week.
Tell us, by the way,
But
Ushi
I worked, okay.
Actually, you could say that you get part of it.
But no, I'll be honest. I've been following Michael's journey in the last month, and it's probably going on maybe a little bit longer than that, maybe a couple of months.
Yeah.
But it's been it's been a rocky road. And, public service, there's really no gratification in it. Everybody just throws stones at you.
That's why there's all these blessings for people who do. Call me shoisik with tzarech etzivah amina. There's tons of blessings. Why?
Yeah.
Because not only they don't recognize you, they
They get upset at you.
Say it.
it's just today in yeshiva, we kind of like we expect. Sometimes we don't chop that. It's just boys that they don't see the world. They're just starting their life, and you give them everything you got. You give them love, and you show them that we're here for you and everything, and then you expect, like, I give you my whole heart. Just give me a little of your heart. And
Yeah.
sometimes you see somebody like he's just struggling, right? But that's why they're here, because we're here to slowly untighten these tight screws that they put there to protect themselves. So today we finished 1 week. I finished the year, and I'm like, okay, guys, I want to ask everyone here. I know there's a lot of complaints, and I'm sure there's a lot of jokes that you guys want to do, and certain things that is needed. It's the first week, certain things. I want to hear from everyone before we start one positive thing that they like about the place. And the guy first humorously says, the first positive thing that I like is that something, I don't remember, it was something like his room is not working, so on. So I see the guy that's sitting beside me, one of the Rebbeim over here, he's just starting to boil. And he's like, so you're saying that you don't like this place? So do you think we can change it, or do you think that you don't belong here? I'm like,
Take it easy.
Easy, Tiger.
easy tiger, you know. This guy is just.
It's hard though because you pour your heart and soul into things, you put a lot of effort in, and you don't get that reciprocation. And to show that they're grateful, it does hurt, you know. But that's the beauty and the power of unconditional love, right? Parents have that for children. They don't expect anything in return. They want to do it because they want to give the love, right? But I want to go back to Michael for a second because in the last 2 months he's been pouring his heart and soul into this mission, which I actually looked at this as, okay, why do you have to be the guy to step up and to take
If nobody's going to be the guy, nobody's going to do things. You have to be that guy. Freide Chazer ist das. Nimm ihm nicht weg.
charge and to take the entire burden on yourself? And there's like 50, 60 other parents in the school. Where's everybody else? Why isn't there a meeting? Why doesn't everybody show up and everybody take a chunk of the responsibility? And let's divvy up the responsibilities, right? Let's
Viel wie ein bisschen wie lebt in La La Land.
let's chop up, slice and dice what everybody
Wenn man kennt es, wenn Team wollte es so gewähnen. Kann ich aber nicht so tun.
was going to do. No. It was literally, and everybody else was just watching passively as he was doing it because they're like, oh, wow, look at this guy. He's taking the load for everybody else. You know, we'll be along for the ride, but no one was really contributing much. And Michael wasn't deterred by that. You really went out and just made it happen, got the right people involved. But it wasn't just what he did, it was how he did it. And I heard feedback from a lot of the people that you've been meeting with,
Gang
how
98.
impressed they were with
Well done, welcome.
how organized you were.
I mean,
how
thank
detailed
you,
were, and
thank
how
you,
you
sir.
cared so much about doing it and with the hashkafa in the right way, and not just continuing what they had till now, doing it even better. You were taking an opportunity, something where it was falling apart, and not just salvaging it, not just keeping the pieces together, but using this time to say, you know what, let's go an extra 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And let's go even above and beyond, which was amazing. He's accomplishing two birds with one stone. And the first week is done. It's in the books. It's
Ich verstehe nicht die ganze Point, was gemacht. But gang, thank you so much. This is how the channel keeps going.
a lot to be proud of. I'm really, really impressed with what you did, Michael.
Thank you.
You deserve a lot of accolades.
I just want you to know, Beri, before I started, I had to get permission from my family, from my business partners, from my friends. I said, I'm going away for a month. I'm going to be working on this 20 hours a day. So I called Ushi and I called Maishi. And
Don't forget, you promised me 10%,
I
Michael.
said to them,
He did. It's not a joke. He promised me 10% of all of the chusim that he got for this entire thing.
Wow.
I get 10%.
people
of
kept
it.
asking me, how can you do this? You even asked me when we first walked in.
Yeah,
How are you doing this? And I said, I have good partners. I have people that stand behind me and they
No,
understand.
he was coming up to me all bubbly. I'm like, don't be bubbly around me. I'm exhausted.
Don't be bubbly around me.
Yeah.
He's like-
But that's Michael, by the way. He could be so stressed and have a million things going. He's still smiling. He still has positive energy. He could still have a good time with him,
like
which
how-
is,
Yeah,
you know, if I'm in a bad mood, everybody around me knows it. Everybody knows it. Like, you know. but
I'd love to thank you, Ushi. I love you. I appreciate it. And for everyone involved, thank you. Kudos to you and Beis Yaakov, Maoros, Rav Hirsch. It's the first high school that's hanging its hat on the philosophies of Rav Hirsch, which is Torah leading the way and everything else behind it.
Shamshon Folher?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
It's a beautiful thing, and it's honestly, it's called Torah im Derech Eretz, and people think that Derech Eretz means the way you behave, and that's not what it is. Derech Eretz is a way of life.
Wow.
So therefore, all the teachers have to be Jewish. It's part of the process. We want to integrate science with Torah. We want to integrate math with Torah, and teaching these girls that when you get older, you can have a path for yourself. And
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
Isn't that so much like the Chafetz Chaim schools?
perhaps
I don't know. I see. I don't know anything about like
the modernist
behind the
world.
scenes. No.
Oh.
Wow. Even I don't know behind the scenes like what is happens to be that my children grew up. My boys learned in a cheder Imre Shefer, which in Monsey
Viggy also
until
needs some
today I
people
think
with wide
is
shoulders.
the best. Not because I'm like it's my son's
Exactly, gang. Mit Häusentrager. The one with Häusentrager.
cheder and so on. I just they were always open and they're very open to just to make sure that they give the best for their children versus most Moses and everything has its flaws, but I'm saying for me it was this was the best, being that I'm also that type of person who is
Yep, gang.
evolving and growing and open for. I'm not looking to lock myself into when it comes to Yiddishkeit. I'm not looking to be only want to go on this path in Yiddishkeit. And there's a lot of paths. I like to integrate and to enhance and to add. I think, and so over there I was a little involved, like, whenever there was like problematic issues, things started to collapse. I always, jumped in and was one of the people who tried to make sure that it survives and it thrives eventually. And over there, so I was a little aware of, that I remember they went to Rabbi Rieri for training, which is not something that most Chassidish Moses would do. They wouldn't go to a particular guy that has a method of how to deal with Ivra and so on. They would follow a certain, I don't know how it works because I don't know there, but there's a certain traditional and so on, but it doesn't go with a method. I think today it's more in that teachers and Malamdim go for training and so on, but
Good.
But
about time.
my kids, when they were young, it wasn't a thing. So I would love to hear, it doesn't have to be on the podcast, but I would love to
Nehmen einen Mensch mit der größten Burt und sagen, geht seiner Rebbe für 30 Kinder. Unwetten, unecht auslernen is a huge mistake.
hear more about the Reb Shamshon Frol Hirsch, because I remember there's one word that always baglate me. There was always that really
Resonated?
it always resonated, that the reason why Esav grew up to be what he was because, and it could sound a little controversial, like that the reason was because Yitzchak put him in the same school of Yaakov. Like, if Yitzchak would have, although we see it a little differently, but this is what Shamshon Frol Hirsch says, that if Yitzchak would have gave him
Man sucht etwas an teure, but instimmer anders. So wusste der teure.
that outlet in Avodas Hashem, where his training or his growth would be design something for him in particular, then he wouldn't always look, my brother is making it, I'm not. He would feel like, then it would be like, but we do see that Yaakov wanted to bless Esav, so he told him to go and hunt, which was his thing, which means he did
Support
his thing,
Right.
and make him feel good about it, and therefore reward him for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but this is definitely an idea that al pi darko, when you want to help a child, you have to be sensitive to his, to his capabilities, and to see, now
Individualism. Aber tritter wie 1,35 kehrt man nicht für dir. But oi man will kehren für dir, darf man sehen, wo tit sich mit dir. Wie ist deine Schwachkeiten? Wieso darf man dich auslernen versus just auslernen?
not to put him in in a certain
in a box. It's all subjective. You got to customize to what they need, to what your child needs. Yeah. Well, I don't want to hijack this. I want to learn a lot more.
Go for it.
No, I really want to get to like Beri Weber and to like the fun and cool parts about you. But before I do that, I do want to give one shout out, Michael, because we're talking about this partnership. You're out there and helping the world. I want to give a shout out to a certain individual, if I may.
Go for it.
One of our clients, U.S. Health. I'm going to announce it. Okay, and their purchasing director is Usher Mandelbaum, and he's a young kid. This is his first purchasing job, and I'm helping him through it. And I'm trying to to guide him and support him, in his mission.
In his
and
endeavors.
He has wonderful bosses. Like the owners of this group are really great people. Big fans of how they operate and what they're doing. But you could tell that he is just motivated and invested in not just learning, but learning in the right way. And he's always asking the right questions, and he's always just interested in how do we increase the quality? How do we really do it in a way that it's not just about saving money, but I'm doing things in a professional manner that's going to have a good outcome for the organization, for the buildings, for the patients, and it's giving me a little bit of chizuk. So shout out to Usher. Just want you to know that, you're giving an old man a little bit of chiyus again. So really,
No idea. No
appreciate
idea,
you.
but okay.
all right, we're back. Let's get back to the
I love
program.
it, by the way. I think the concept that you're saying that is meaningful to me and what we learned through the podcast of meeting people and talking is intentional. And that's what resonates with what you're saying, is doing things with intention and knowing that this
Exactly.
is what you're doing, this is the point. And another thing I learned along the way of being a board member and starting things is we have opinions, we don't have agendas. So important because, and everyone who joined the board, I said the same thing. You can have opinions, but you can have agendas. Where we're heading is Rav Sham Shonofar Hirsch Hashkafa. Who's going to guide that? The rabbinical board that was created, and we're here to support them. So that system, thank God, is going really, really well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'd love to know. Before, I'm sorry, we're going to stay spiritual in another 2 minutes, if you don't mind.
With me, you're going to be spiritual forever. Sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I didn't know this side of you. I was not aware that this is your MO.
I'm a junkie. I'm a spiritual junkie.
No idea.
I enjoy it. It's just like, it makes sense to me. Other than that, it doesn't make sense.
So you mentioned something. You mentioned Rav Itchem.
Richard Meyer.
Itchem Meyer. This is a name I've heard so many times already in the past
By
decade.
the way, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Some people have the wrong idea of being people relate being spiritual with being ehrlich or being Jewish or being, I think spiritual.
Kennst du nicht, ich will sein ehrlich, alles schön verrechten. So viel wie, mit auf Dinge denken, ich will sein spiritual. No? Spiritual is the fuzzy feeling. However you want to slice it and dice it. Spiritual is fuzzy, hoggy feeling.
This is tangible. You know, it's you're creative, you're spiritual. Versus, being a 9-to-5 job, which is not spiritual. In that sense, spiritual means like everything is a lesson.
Was treibt zu sagen, was ich stell mich vor, sagt jetzt, als spiritual is, wenn es hat zu tun mit dir, nur mit dir, in anything else is not spiritual. All right.
It's a way of thinking. It's not necessarily Yiddish versus Goyish. Know what I'm saying? I mean, to say this.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like a Goy is spiritual. Like if they're singing is being spiritual.
It's the fuzzy.
Creative.
So connecting to the universe.
Emotions is spiritual.
What it is.
Connecting to nature, things like that.
Can you correct him or just clarify for a second? How are you spiritual throughout your day? Give us examples. What is I like what you're saying.
Well, my brain works in a creative way. Meaning to say that when you tell me something, I hear those words, but I don't stop there. I'm like, why is he saying that? What does he really mean? Not because I'm paranoid, just because I'm creative. I take these words and I make a piece of art of it. I go into the depth of it. I look at the colors of it. I'm an artist. I have a very hard time paying my bills because it's very physical to me. It's like being realistic. My being realistic.
Imagine einer, was macht $1,000 a Nacht. Hat ein issue mit zahlen the bills. Wat ich verstehe, was er meint.
Realistic is only for me that because I have to survive in a realistic world, but really, I'm in the art of it.
Okay.
When I come in here, I see the
Wat verloren ein bisschen, Oilem, du Beri. Hast du uns verloren?
production here. I don't know how to explain it, but it's an artistic way of thinking. So although, I mean, a lot of times I have to be very down to earth and show up at certain places at certain times and to hear the customer for what he says or for what he and she says, or to be a little down to earth. But a lot of times I rely on my spirit, on my trip, on my sixth sense. I'll explain it to you as we go on. Like
No, I think I understand what you're saying. Like you try to remove yourself from the materialistic equation.
no, I'm not. I am removed by default.
Okay, that's what I mean. You are removing yourself from that, and you're seeing how to the growth aspects of things, right? You're seeing what to take from it, what to learn from it.
I see it in a little deeper, creative way. I don't know how to define it. I call it being spiritual. Meaning to say, the spiritual world makes to me more sense than the non-spiritual world.
So if I gave you a choice to sing at a wedding tomorrow night, where it's a very meaningful wedding, and it's going to be a lot of people, an emotional wedding, because there's a story behind it. The two people that are getting married, and they're paying you $3,000 versus a wedding that is just a high-end, lavish wedding. A bunch of snobs are going to be there, a bunch of elite people. They're paying you $30,000. Are you saying that you would...
Nog vaak lassen Beri empfen. Kijk on de andere Hebreman. You get that mach with the face like, oh my God, I can't believe you're asking this question. Brooklyn. Hello and welcome.
A bunch of snobs are going
Kick
to
'em
be
out.
there. A bunch of elite people.
Yeah,
They're paying
yeah.
you 30 grand. Are you saying that you would rather sing
Absolutely.
at that $3,000
I
job?
would rather, but I can't make this decision based on my emotions because if like that, I would lose my family in a second. I would
You
lose.
understand your obligation.
So there is a line in the sand
Yeah.
where
Ich meine, ich will gedacht entfernen mehr. Ich will sehr stark unnehmen the $3,000 wedding, weil dort wollte ich der meiste connected. But, weil ich weiß, dass ich habe a family mit bills to pay, ja, ich nehme the mehr expensive, but ich will nehmen jene.
your
Of course,
spirituality takes a back seat.
I have to use my brain
to other
and be
things.
realistic to reality, and I have to pay my bills. I have to take care of my values. I have to
Right.
support my people that I care for.
Okay. So I want to make that
But
distinction.
really, I would, yeah. If somebody would take care of my financials in my world, I would 100% choose. I would rather want to sing every night, and not every night because it's not possible. But I would rather, a lot of times it happens. People are like, "Can you give me a discount?" Technically, I don't care. I don't like when I make with $2,000 less, $3,000. It does not touch me in a second. It's just that I don't want people to take advantage.
Right.
I don't want to lose my pants. I don't. But
You deal with that directly? People call you?
no. So you see, therefore, I have somebody who runs it.
You have an agent who does that.
I have agent does that because I really do.
It's wrong to corner him like this? I don't think so. He didn't mean to corner him, but het geht geämpft. Will gewollt nehmen, the $3,000, but mismachen Gehalt.
Don't like. I do not feel comfortable after a wedding to go over to a mechutten and talk to him about dollars. It takes me out of the zone. I was just here. I created a vibe of happiness. I created a relationship. For me, this is like blocking the relationship. For me, this is like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's very important
So
to
when I'm
you.
talking spiritual,
Zu geben mir bessere Werte, wie ich verstehe, zu leben spiritual, meint zu sagen, eine Idee, ist nicht zu leben auf Autopilot, aufstehen, der Frühtin, durch Routine, gehen, kommen, arbeiten, zurückkommen. Spiritual meint zu sagen, also er nimmt heraus von Sachen, von Life, und kickt daran in Sachen, und sie nimmt, und geht über, nicht tam leben.
I'm talking about that sense.
Yeah. That
So
makes
we're about to go back to you. So you said Rebbe Shemaiah. I'm going back to that because I've heard his name many times, and I have a lot of friends that are big fans. Can you just tell me a little bit about who he is?
Du will ich sagen, spielen.
I'll tell you what. I think of him too much in order for me to have the chutzpah to describe him. But I'll tell you something that you would like to hear, probably. So, he was just a random kid that grew up in a random family, which means that he doesn't have any rabbinical DNA in his blood. His
Will gemacht a bessere Podcast in Yiddish. Wird sich besser gekannt explainen. Aber darf sein, aber so comfortable bei der Yiddish Podcast.
father used to be a diamond. He had a lot of money. Then, like at some point, he lost all his money. But when he grew up in a rich house, and he once said that the way he thought himself how to guard his eyes. By the way, I just heard last week someone told me he's close with with someone who, I mean, just like you said, you didn't have Rabbi Tam. So there was this iconic guy who said that I never knew that guarding the eyes is a thing. And today they have this organization of what's it called? They put out these videos.
Einayim something?
Something Vayimoin.
Vayimoin.
And he's like, wow, see, I never knew that's a thing, But I guess in their school it wasn't a thing to teach like to guard eyes. But anyways, Rabbi Shemaiah said that the way he thought himself of how to guard his eyes was because his father had mirrors in his house. And mirrors is like a modern thing. Like a Chassidish house wouldn't look in the mirror. There's this thing that says, if you look in the mirror, it wakes up your...
Everybody in that room, first language is Yiddish? Nee. Von was reden sie in English? I get it, but es ist eine starke Wand.
your evil inclination, your Yetzer Hara. That's the thing.
Exactly, working on it too hard in English. But it's an English podcast, verstehst? So,
Chassidim.
no
But
choice,
by-
music.
so he was a little child and he would go around his house and not look, like he was guarding his eyes. So he had this niche, this thing in his brain when he was
So
a young
a
child,
a
just to
knot.
be extreme in a way, which led him to be where he is right now. He's, mean to say, he was a kid that grew up with a nice haircut. Like he didn't have like these pies that I have.
Hij is opgewachsen met een nice haircut. Giet, Beri, giet.
You know, and it wasn't the ultra from Hasidic type of house. It was more of like a open-minded modern house. But he pushed himself, pushed himself, and until today he's pushing
I
himself.
know he's a major inspiration for a lot of people.
And he's amazing. He's a tzaddik. He's just a tzaddik. He's someone who's bottled to the universe. Like you can just step on him.
Yeah.
And he's not like the
Alright, we'll keep-
Kovic Schmecker. Is like this is my seat. Don't like he would give it.
Het andere mine quirks, okay? Lass mir ihm nicht, malig machen, okay? Bei du noch aber bei unam Lamukan, whatever the Sache ist, kommt fahr die ganze Acten wie a ganze Flair. But we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep
Ways.
it.
I have many friends that when they were bocharim in yeshiva in Israel, and they would go over to his house just and they say, I don't know what he would cook them a omelet. He would make them an omelet, and there was two things he knew how to do: omelet and pizza. Like he would make them a pizza and omelet. Like a very humble guy, you know. And but he's a tzaddik. He's a tzaddik.
So right now he's a rav and he has a shul. Like is that the makeup of?
He used
Yes.
to. He used.
Yes, I met him. Ich kenne hem noch. Ich gedenk hem noch vader geworden, a ganze slash celebrity. Noch in the olden days.
to be just in a coil part of Kabbalah. He was always infatuated with Kabbalah.
Okay.
Even when he was a bocher. And Kabbalah, I don't know most communities, but in communities where we grew up, Kabbalah was taboo. It's not meant only for someone who is already 40 years old or something, whatever. And Breslov and Kabbalah, both of them were looked down upon. Oh, he's Breslover, like he's tripping. Especially in the places where he grew up, which was Europe, more like everything is like very formal and polished and like no craziness, you know. And but he was always infatuated with these sidurim that have all these shames, the Siddur Ari and Siddur Rashash. Until today, he dams in those sidurim. But
Brooklyn noch fahr sie geworden als a ganzer Style. Noch fahr noch hat der Schwanzu noch mal im sich. Noch wenn gewesen a while back, you know. Way back when.
Reb Peshwarski Rebbe always would say that people would come and complain, these bochers going around with
Wenn sie an Schiele noch gewesen a Pizzi-Schiel, wenn noch gut nicht gehabt.
the shameless thing and it's not appropriate, he would say like, allow him. He's allowed to, you know.
Wow.
But he was always very into it. He pushed himself. He's just a guy. He's a tzaddik. What is a tzaddik? Sheva Yipel tzaddik. Become a tzaddik is someone who is not afraid to fall.
Hello, welcome.
Somebody who is just focused in the business. Who is the biggest guy? Somebody who's not afraid of challenges. Somebody who just breaks through every challenge and
I
just
would say so.
drives on 100 miles an hour and
20
does
years
not look
ago,
back.
yes.
Just goes forward. And Avoid Hashem, this is what he does. He's just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And he's not pushing anybody. At the same time, he allows, these people who we call second class or people who are usually not looked up upon, he encourages that. And he's, my yeshiva, he's just pushing and pushing and pushing. I wanted to go Hanukkah and I wanted to go in Uman. I wasn't there this year, Rosh Hashanah. I wanted to go there for this Hanukkah. He went there. So I called him up, like, am I invited? Can I come? He's like, is the yeshiva open yet? I'm like, no, but we're like almost there. He's like, I'll have you in mind. Open your yeshiva. I got you. Like, whatever you think of.
He wouldn't hang out with me. He wouldn't hang out. He the last time I was next to him, he said, there was no normal talk. There was no normal human-to-human conversation. So, ich red nicht die Lamp.
doing there. I'll
Traveling
I'll do that.
to Swiss?
And he was
Nice.
just pushing me and pushing me and pushing me.
For those listening, the yeshiva that you have is meant for who?
These are meant for boys that technically are being thrown out or
Not
had to leave
accepted.
the yeshiva because they didn't feel that they get them, or it's very hard to like categorize such a
Weil einer geht heraus, weil hat eine kleine Kappel, der andere, weil hat eine Kar, der andere, weil trinkt auch. Jeder einer hat sich seinen Platz, wie is edgy.
type
Okay.
of boys who didn't make it in mainstream yeshivas, and they're currently on the street without a yeshiva,
Alle schick
and
pictures.
they
alles.
still would like to be in a yeshiva environment. A lot of boys are burnt out, and they're like, not going to go into fail again, and they don't even give it a chance.
And as I understand it, these are kids from all over the world. It could be
These are kids from everywhere.
everywhere, but more Hasidic backgrounds, though.
Yeah, this is what I could.
Yeah,
like
facilitate. Yeah.
I could facilitate.
Is Beri tense? No, I actually feel like he's loose, but weil darf reden English, is alles durchgetracht und darf durch ein paar filters, which kills the situation, I would say. Kills the flow. Sehen wir der Herzloch, by the way, so thank you.
That's what he relates to.
That's
Yeah,
what I
of course.
relate to, and that's what I feel I could.
So if somebody
help.
wants to find out more or get involved or support it, what do they do? Who would they
They reach out to me.
reach out to you?
You know?
I mean, this can be the first type of school like this. I mean, you're talking about in the Hasidic environment, right? That culture for the boys that didn't fit the mold.
The Sache mit der mini yeshivas is, as sie wendet sich auf the severity of levels. Kennst du sich ruplagen auf Pen and Papers? Was meint a schlechter Bucher? Was meint nicht a guter Bucher? Wie fängt sich es an? Du Menschen, was kicken aus, sie kicken nicht aus Chassidisch, aber sie sind eine Sache besser, wie einer, was geht noch mit der full, hit and reckle, mit der ganzen Sache, but that is way, way off. So es ist eine schwere Sache, herauszulegen auf Pen and Paper,
And didn't do
Viggy, you met him in Jerusalem und in Oman. Ich habe ihn getroffen, das erste Mal in Netzisroel.
well in the system, and now they're sort of out of options. They go to a school like this, right? To try to rebuild them and try to reshape them, right? To stay.
In Oman ben ik eens geweest bij hem. Ik denk, ja, als bij Oman vlieg ik, ben ik geweest in Oman, ben ik gegangen zu zijn plaats wie davend. Ik heb vlieg aankijken daar. He does have a smile. He has a certain smile.
The course, but in a sort of a different style, right? This is the first time such a thing existed. It can't be. I imagine that there's a lot of
First of all,
schools
in
like
the
this.
uniqueness of what I provide, absolutely. Show me. Okay, there's Shmuel Brazil, right? You've heard of Shmuel Brazil?
I've heard of him, but I
Israel, you mean?
don't know much
Israel,
about it. Yeah.
So he's a singer, technically, that has yeshiva, but he's not a singer that has yeshiva. He's a yeshiva that is also a singer. Being that your Rosh Yeshiva is cool, your yeshiva is not somebody who's
Typical.
a very chashuv guy that they don't feel threatened of. That's very unique. That's
Got
number
it.
one.
So what you're doing is a little bit of a spin here. It's not so much this concept that's new. It's this model with you at the helm of it.
Right.
That is that secret sauce.
So-
right. That's different.
Right away.
He has no schedule, very hard to follow him. I don't know. Hat nichts van zu maar im sich, als man followt him. Okay? So, I'm going to leave it at that.
It makes them feel calmer.
Oh.
And the staff that I have are not people who have certain agendas of, this is how the school should run. They're just
They're not
people
ego.
with good hearts.
Yeah.
And they just want to adapt to create an environment.
Got it.
This is also, again, now understand, I don't want to be like, I figured it out and I got the best thing. And blah, blah, blah. The point is that, of course, I'm sure there is out there something similar to this,
Yeah.
but it's not something that there's a lot of it. I know there's yeshivas in Israel similar to this. I know that there's in Lakewood similar to this, like Eatontown, and there is Left Toid over here. But again, everybody caters to a different type of, like, I wouldn't recommend someone who's struggling with Shabbos to be in the same yeshiva environment of someone who doesn't struggle with Shabbos. And I don't recommend someone who struggles with his social issues with someone who doesn't struggle with
Right.
social issues. So that's why people don't realize it's important to create an environment for all types of.
Yeah.
So not like that I'm the only guy who outside of the regular system. There are yeshivas who are created for ADD, for kids with ADD. There are yeshivas who are created for kids who are totally like throwing away their religion, like they don't keep Shabbos and they don't put tefillin, and it's amazing. And when I technically open,
Ich sehe, wie struggelt. Wie liked man der line? Wie liked man der line? Liking der line ist sehr schwer, wenn es nicht du kann clear defined situation. Man weiß nicht, like, okay, die kannst du ja ankommen. Es geht per Bucher. Und,
it was just a group of boys who didn't have a yeshiva. And so I technically opened and created a system around their struggles, that group. And then as time was going on, as new boys came to me without knowing what this is, and their struggles shifted in a different direction, I changed the vibe and the staff according to their. That I don't think there is. I don't think there is a chameleon at Rosh Yeshiva who is okay and willing to shift shape and colors according to. Now, me, I'm also human, and I can also handle what I can handle. As I said, I can only cater to Hasidic boys because I don't connect to the culture of that, because I wasn't brought up that way, so I don't know exactly, how to handle that.
Yeah.
So I'm also not a total chameleon.
Right.
But in my
weißt du, ich darf sagen, nicht kein Chameleon. Also nicht dein Culture verstehst das nicht. Die verstehst nicht alle zwischen Bucher, ob du bist auch Husset. It's just different way von reden, different way von communicating.
community, there isn't something.
What a nice thing. So nice. I mean, you're singing, bringing smiles on people's faces. Then, as if that's not enough, you're also shaping the future for these young boys that are lost and need some direction.
Right.
And you're doing it in a way that's palatable for them, in a way that they could find joy in it.
Right.
Right. And you're showing them, look, take me as an example. I'm just like you guys. I went through the same system as you, the same upbringing as you. And look, I turned out pretty okay. And I'm happy.
Wie viel von dich hebben gaan werden singers?
And there's a way to have life and still be functional in society. You don't have to change. You don't have to become something else. You can still be you, and you can still have a wonderful.
But what is the you? What is the you in them? That's not going to change in the you, but what is the you?
Life that has so much to offer, right? That's sort of what you're showing them by example.
Which ich agree mit dem Message, das ist ja wegwerfen alles. So wenn man geht da weg, und man lässt up, man nimmt auf der All, nimmt man Ziehsachen up. Und auch dann ist man verloren. Ich habe gesagt, mehr Tracht, wo die lässt up. Nicht jede Sache ist terrible. Nicht jede Sache ist bad für dir. Be fruitful. Brooklyn. Good one.
Which was amazing.
So it's, I'm not technically telling them that, but subconsciously, this is what they're feeling.
Right.
It's like, this is something that I could look up to.
Yeah.
This doesn't bring me any trauma and issues. Like, I don't relate my failures with this type of behavior. So let me try to look into this option, and that's where they feel encouraged.
Yeah, for sure.
So just to understand, like, so let's say I sat down with the boys, we started learning a particular thing that I felt that I'm good at, to be able to give it over to them. And let's say it was Gemara, and I started learning, and I see that, like, I'm pushing a wall, like it's not working. Then at some point I'm like, who from this group does not know how to read Hebrew? Baruch At Hashem. And 75% of these boys are raising their hands.
How's that possible? What does that mean?
Keep it how's that possible? Weil man lernt es in shows, but kijk on de Shaq was hat.
And 75% of these boys are raising their hands.
How's that possible? What does that mean?
How's that possible? Is am bring guide what hello. Maar zo is het. Also is het met uge schnegelt 14, 15, 16 Jahr in a yeshiva in a cheder me ken gunisht. Also kijk das aus.
Failed.
They grew up in regular from
now
homes.
You wonder why they failed, because they did not get the proper.
What do you mean? That's
training.
Not failing. That's just completely missing the boat. Are you telling me that they never learned as an 8-year-old, as a 10-year-old, how to read?
Yeah.
Yes. So what I did is, guys, Gemara closed. We're starting a new program next week. And I right away have to call professionals.
Call Rabbi Eddie.
Exactly.
I would think you would know this beforehand. Like, how did you discover this
What do you mean? How would he know? Ik had dezelfde Shak wie die.
right then when you were starting to learn Gemara with them? And you're like, wait a second, they can't even read.
So I cannot take in these boys, sending them this strict contract at most Chadarim. First of all,
You take anybody. So you're not really...
why would I point out right away before I meet them their issues and their struggles? Why would
Not
they
issues. I'm saying to discover or to do like...
But stoot ze kijken in de spiegel en gaan, oh, okay, van wie komen die kinderen? Okay. 75% van die ken ik kleiner naar vullen. Okay. Als je zo met serie gaan in changing de geider? No, definitely. Viggy, what are you saying? Changing with the rebels line? Never. En dan zo kijk this aus.
an assessment of where they
Boils your blood.
are, where they're holding, like, you know, what
What's
this
the
boy will
point of
need.
doing an assessment if I'm anyways going to deal with it?
Right.
Same,
So you're
same,
taking
same.
anybody. You're doing it all. But I'm
Come in.
surprised that 75% of them couldn't even read. That shows that this is a rampant issue that could be happening. This is not.
Yes,
It wasn't one boy or two boys that read. Like 75% of them just couldn't read.
right,
That's insane.
right.
And by the way, if he wasn't doing what he's doing and making this platform available and then creating this environment, they'd be on the streets at a certain point doing God knows what.
They were on the streets. Everybody.
Exactly. Ze zijn schon gewesen auf der Gas. Weil gut haben sie nicht gekannt. And this is crazy. Ze zijn nicht kein Jiden und nicht kein Goyim. Nicht von der Welt, nicht jener Welt. Zero. And that's sad.
My yeshiva was on the streets.
Unbelievable. It's really, really
Everybody.
amazing.
I had certain boys who were just shoved into certain yeshivas that was called yeshivas, but it was just people.
So we me schickt auf Etzisrol. Wie dann sehen? In Etzisrol Yeshiva. Much in gewonnen the war. Why don't you care? It's terrible. Just the idea dann sehen is in a yeshiva, the Numan yeshiva, showing it.
that tried to care and they just neglected them.
Right.
They were fit, and they were like, you know, I've done the worst. I've been exposed to everything that a 16-year-old boy shouldn't be exposed to, but I came from that place, and that's where I do not want to go. Like, give me a chance,
Yeah.
and I'm like, great.
Amazing.
I guess so,
do this.
sadly.
You know, Barry, I want to ask something right on this topic because I have no.
The größte Chassidus via Fortune 500 company. We kicked off the percentages. Kicked off if most are making it, then we're good. We don't have to, darf ich kehren auf der Saatige. Oh, dort geht man schon nicht für eine Schumme, das sieht schon nicht.
Noticed as this podcast is developing, your mind really works very quickly, and you keep getting distracted. Like you'll talk about one topic, and then you'll bring in a story you just remember, then another one, and then another one. Like you can go on for a long time.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. Like you have so much information that's stored up in your brain.
Right. So I have that issue, but somehow siyata d'shema, when I talk to the boys and I just go from topic to topic to topic to topic to topic, somehow my manal always tells me somehow you always manage to tie everything up.
You
But-
circle back.
But that's a talent that Hashem gave me as an artist, which everything obviously, this is the reason why I went from this topic to this topic. So as an artist, I see it as a picture. So everything is like intertwined, like it's like a picture. It's like,
Yeah, and I've seen it here. I've seen how you've veered off a few times, but you always come
Interesting.
right back to that and you
Welcome.
tie it all in, which is very interesting.
Thank you.
So you clearly have that creative mind. You're obviously someone who thinks differently, and you've done things a cut above what just the mainstream Jewish person growing up. Like, by the way, we grew up similar to you. We didn't grow up Hasidish,
Right.
but at the end of the day, we all grew up from, and I think there's a lot of similarities in that, right? And very few people can say that they've sang in front of hundreds of thousands of people. They've put out records. Their face is, plastered around town. You're known all over the place. I'd be very surprised if you walked into a room full of people and 80% of them didn't know who you are. So, that's got to carry a lot of weight for you. That can't be easy. It's fun, but it's fun for the first, 5-10 minutes. Eventually, it becomes a drag. It becomes a burden to have to deal with that type of consequence, So do you enjoy that? Do you like this part? Do you hate it? You're somewhere in the middle. How do you deal with it?
I hate it.
You hate it.
Hate it.
Everything about it, there isn't any part of it that you like? No. Because you do seem like a very subtle, more, to the softer, quieter side. So, for me, I would
I'm an
love it.
introvert.
I love the limelight.
Put me on an island
Yeah.
with nature, and I'll be in heaven.
That's crazy. That's just crazy that you are that kind of personality, yet everything that you're doing is a total confliction to that.
Right.
You are not by any means
you know
behind the scenes.
You want to hear something crazy? When I'm on the stage, on a Hess concert or in front of thousands of people, and I sing, I am on my island.
So you don't get nervous.
I know.
You're totally zoned out. You're checked out. You're like in your own world.
I'm like in my own world.
That's a nice ability to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That's got to be a certain trick to it, like an art form, to be able to do that. Most people get sucked into the, to the moment, and they get caught up. What's going on? They get all nervous.
Even though it's not as meaningful for you, let's go to where Oshi wanted to go before. So first of all, what's the biggest crowd you've ever sang to?
So anything that has to do with memorizing stuff that happened in the past, you're not going to get a very accurate answer.
It's okay. Well,
So I'm going to think, what's the biggest crowd that I sang?
Approximately, a live crowd.
A live crowd, biggest crowd.
Above 10,000?
Let me think. Uman is not 10,000.
Hask,
Hask is not 10,000.
a few thousand, right?
Yeah.
Just the swimsuit and
And
sunblock.
Israel, I've done concerts in Israel that were 10,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it just you, or was it a group of people?
No, it wasn't a solo Beri concert.
Have you ever done those?
I did it maybe twice.
Yeah.
Like just a Beri concert.
What kind of singer do you consider yourself? Are you like a soul singer? Do you consider yourself to be a jazz,
See?
blues?
In de Jiddische Welt is veel du als dat. Like Benjamin Singer. Alles, ich habe es gesehen ein bisschen. Ich habe gesehen Pictures von ihm, aber ich habe rausgenommen von Lakewood. Jetzt ist geworden der Sticker, jeder geht jetzt noch Läufe machen. Taylor hat nicht rausgegeben nach einem Video. Ein zweiter hat rausgegeben von Lakewood. Jetzt läuft jeder einer an dem. Darf es just ignoren.
Folksy, pop, like what do you do a little bit of everything?
Being the environment that I grew up, all these names that you just mentioned is something that was totally not in my conscious or in my education. And the only way I would find out is by like listening to non-Jewish music or to educate myself.
Do you even know what genres
music
I was
theory.
just talking about?
By now I know.
By now you must
because
know.
I've bumped into here and there. And
This is your industry.
right.
You gotta have the jargons.
But it's not in my blood.
Right.
So if I would have to say, what my soul is, like what type of, I would say soul.
Soul. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But necessarily, what I have to do in order to get my dough,
You do what it takes. Just sing anything.
Yeah.
Anything, any non-Jewish singers that you sort of resonate with, connect to, you feel like that's sort of your style, your vibe. Do you listen to non-Jewish music?
So I don't officially, although I can't say that I never listened to, because I was, introduced to it and
Sure.
so on. But
It's for research and development purposes. You have to
no,
listen.
not even that. I never had a song list of
course not.
non-Jewish music.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was in Yeshiva Mir, there was one guy who was into a certain artist called Eminem. I'm Slim Shady.
Okay.
So he would listen to that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to be that annoying guy who's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
Turn it off.
Yeah. Because I was, I was open-minded. So
Okay.
Eminem was in.
So that's like hip hop. That's rap,
But did I ever get into rap? No.
Not rap. Is there somebody you appreciate, like a Billy Joel, an Elvis
I think
Presley,
Michael Jackson was.
Michael Jackson?
I think Michael Jackson is beyond.
Okay.
Genius. I think what's his name? The Rasta guy.
The what guy?
Bob Marley.
No, what's his name?
Sing it.
No
Worries.
no cry.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley. Okay.
He was a big tzaddik.
There you go. Yeah. He had a lot of soul. Okay.
Spirit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes
Big
sense.
tzaddik.
Definitely
Yeah.
like spirit.
I
Sure.
really think he was tzaddik.
Yeah.
I don't know. Never listened to Billy Joel. I never listened to the Beatles. Never find interest in that.
So everything you come up with is entirely your own, deep from within your soul. Like you don't take any inspirations from anyone else or from. You have your own lane. You have your own.
Right.
You're doing your own thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm very curious about this because I really think that this is something that's lacking in the Jewish arena. I do think that it's getting a little bit more like the Thank You Hashem movement, right? With the types of songs that they put out. I think that they're sort of finding a little niche that's a little bit more modernized and compelling for the younger generation. And like I love the fact that my kid, he's 8-year-old, he loves Thank You Hashem, and he loves their songs. Like he loves it. He loves also like these Zusha. He loves Zusha. I love Zusha.
Wo ist der issue mit Michael Jackson? Het nicht ausgeht non-Jewish music, but doing dorten, weil is in the line, fällt es durch.
By the way, I'm obsessed with Zusha. I love their songs. I think that it adds a whole new type of flavor that we didn't really have in our music for a long time. Yeah.
Hold on just a second. I just need to take a break for a second. Hold on. What's it geschehen? Hold on. Mother Nature, I will be back. Hold on just a second. I'll be back in a second. All right. In Zemetzidik. We are here. Bullshita. Mother Nature.
No, it's that thing that was missing.
They're missing, yeah. But I think like the EDM concept, right?
Yeah,
They're
so
bringing to that.
He knows the beat, but never heard the songs. I'm not trolling the Eden yet. Ich meine, als Tyler het aufgeweckt, Menschen heranzugehen in a close community. So, jetzt dit zegt de ganze Ohren geht daran, andere YouTubers. It's gonna pass. It's not gonna be crazy stuff.
Too, but
Yeah,
you know,
also, but what I think we're still missing is
We darf ihn fragen, what's his favorite non-Jewish song?
somewhat of the like you mentioned earlier that you had a music video that you put out, and that was like such a taboo thing to do. That was like so abnormal in our right, but now it's like a very normal thing. You see every song that people put out is with a
if
music
you don't
video.
put out one year, nobody.
Right.
Exactly.
So I think what's still missing is sort of that collection of, and I think I was telling this to Yaakov Langer when he was on our podcast, is influencers. Is people going beyond just the music part. Is also to let people into their lives and to make, everything about what they're doing and share it with the public and share it with, right now it's just like we have singers, we have people that put on plays, and everybody has sort of their role, their lane, but nobody, it's just them. Let's follow them, everything that they're doing. And in the Jewish world, in the non-Jewish world, you have a ton of those people, and not always are they portraying the best things, right? So why can't we have someone who's a cool person, someone like you, right, who's very talented, and I don't just want to see you sing, I want to see you with the boys that you're mentoring.
De Sache ist, ich weiß, was fragt, but the problem is, the Rege, die bringst du an a camera, so du hast das Syndrome, ich denke hier in der Nummern, so, but I don't remember exactly what it is, like what the number is the Rege sits in the camera, change a human, the mensch change, I fang to act differently, so, the Rege, die bringst du an a camera, and everybody acts different. So nicht echt a Sache, was man kennt ihn, to be honest.
I want to see that. I want to see you at home, how you interacting with your kids. Now, you may not want to share, that's fine. And
Phil Murphy pardoned everybody the last few days, meaning?
maybe not even you, but somebody who's on the public stage to totally capitalize on this and to go a step above. I haven't seen...
Eens du kan Geld noch in de jiddische Welt to werden a public figure like a vlogger and stuff like that.
That yet, and I think it's necessary, and I think that it would be great for my son to be able to follow an influencer that's in our culture, in our circles, versus potentially
Ja, aber die bist nicht in Zanziin Circle. So da muss das sich schon.
following, I don't know, God knows who, that's out there in social media. Why don't we find those people, replace it for these
Because es ist nicht immer. Es ist falsch. Es ist falsch die ganze Zeit. Keiner kann nicht waschen als Zweiten, wenn jener just schulmt. Man darf machen Controversy, man darf machen Drama, man darf die ganze Zeit überdrehen. Und nicht retains nicht kein Viewers.
children so they have somebody to look up to, or somebody to look up to, somebody to follow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you with me?
Yes. So
Yeah, but it's not doable.
so
Ich verstehe, was will, but it's not doable.
Really, he's the wrong guy. I mean,
no, it's not the wrong guy.
Why is he the wrong guy,
I'm
Michael?
the guy to talk about it.
No, meaning because you're an introvert. You were saying earlier.
And I have a lot to tell.
No, but I want to hear his
around.
theories. I want to hear his
Me
ideas.
being an introvert,
Yeah.
it's not that I hate people. I love socializing.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying
I
the
mean-
camera has to follow you around.
No, let me tell you
Yeah.
something. Me being an introvert means to say that I'm okay being by myself. I could.
No. Introvert usually will nicht gaan mit anderen Menschen. Okay? Brooklyn, you're here. What do you mean?
could entertain myself.
Right.
Right.
I don't need.
Huge talent. Right?
I
He's
don't
not
need-
running after the center
My
stage.
gasoline is not by getting feedback from people.
217, alles geht's.
I get my own feedback in my brain. That's what I meant to
Got
say.
it.
I love socializing. I love characters. I love different people. I love different cultures. For me, it's very colorful, entertaining, and I love taking it into my world and analyzing it into my world. It's not like I'm not a people hater. I'm fine being by myself, so I don't need to be.
You mean extrovert? Du Menschen, die missen zijn extroverted, en ook du Menschen, die missen zijn introvert. Sie zijn okay, sie zijn introvert, meint nicht, du bist ein introvert. At least deze was mich gemeint, sie so.
in the public. That's one thing. But what you were saying, what I wanted to say is that the good thing about evolution and time is that everything that you
Evolution.
just thought about or everything that you're fantasizing or hoping or dreaming is going to happen one day. Because if not, it wouldn't enter your brain. Right?
Sharp. I don't think so, but okay.
And because it entered your brain, you're speaking about it, somebody's going to hear about it, and it's going to attract something that should happen eventually. This is what
Imposter syndrome? I don't know. I remember hearing the word, was meint, meaning, was geschehen, wenn die Kamera sind sich und. Ich habe schon gesehen, I have a camera. Ich habe schon gesehen, als ich zünde eine Camera, how people react. Fragen ChatGPT, hold on.
But
Vater Wart.
the fact is, in the Jewish culture, especially in the
Imposter syndrome is the
Dati
right
culture,
line. Yeah, it's similar.
the focus,
But let me say
the focus of the people that we look up to is based Toradic. It's based. We are one nation. We are so amazing, not because we're going to be amazing. It's because we were amazing, and of course we are evolving to be amazing. But because we have it, what kept us together 2,000 years? We have no country, right? We have nothing that kept us in one place. It wasn't the language, because Hebrew just came back. It wasn't there for 2,000 years. Of course, now we see things are reshaping, and it's a sort of
Yeah,
Hashem.
sure.
But for 2,000 years, what kept us that we shouldn't disintegrate? What, and us, more of any nation, we were fought at, we were tried to be destroyed. What kept us together? It was the Torah, that ideology that the Torah is giving you, how you should
Observer effect? I'm not sure.
behave, what you should do and you should do, because
Hawthorne effect. Ich bin nicht aber sicher, but
those people who came to America, for instance, like those people who came because they ran away from Europe and they wanted to create themselves a comfortable life over here. And they had this struggle with Shabbos, keeping Shabbos, so on, like I'm talking about in the 1940s and before that and after that, right? Shabbos was a struggle. there were certain people who were Nefesh every week, and we can't really fathom, think of a lifestyle where you cannot commit yourself to be in a job because you know that every week you have to quit and you have to try again every Sunday. Like, what type of life is that? But some people did that. But the people who couldn't...
Sally, are you on it? Check it out.
People who weren't, meant or weren't strong enough to be able to fight those challenges, they would do the best they could. They would keep their job. They would try to walk to work instead of riding to work, but they had to go to work. They needed to feed their family, their little children. They couldn't stand looking at their children being hungry. They what we would call they weren't junkies. They couldn't just throw away their dreams just because, okay, I'll try my best. So they had a shear. Shabbos morning, they get up 6 o'clock, go to shul, daven, had a shear, learning to do. They did something extra like Kovet Shabbos, whatever. I don't know what it was, but it was probably like in order for them to like lose a little of their guilt. But then they had to do the thing to survive. They went. Now, these children, they saw their father.
The problem is, was is auf English, Brooklyn? He's not loose with the English.
Working on Shabbos, which means not keeping Shabbos. But they also saw their father doing a Suda 6 o'clock in the morning. Did they get up 6 o'clock in the morning and do a Suda? No. They're like, I'll take the good part of it. I can work on Shabbos. And so, Nabach, 3 generations later, they have nothing to do to identify with Judaism besides, little here and there, like have a Hanukkah menorah or have him starve David. Yeah, but this is their Yiddishkeit. What kept Yiddishkeit thriving throughout all generations? You have to agree, it was the Torah. The Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. That was the epitome of Klal Yisrael. That was like, oh, you see, this is untouchable. This is God's building. And then these Romans came and just said, God's building? You're nobody. What kept Klal Yisrael together? It was the Torah. So throughout generations, if you want to look at an influencer, somebody you should look at as a role model. Although there are some simple Jews that have, how's it called, Mika Amchi Yisrael moments, MKY moments, and we still get inspired by simple Eden like me and you and you. It is an inspiration that
Dat is ook een sida, not soda, huh?
Helps us in our life to enhance it. But really where we look up to are the scholars, the people who lead the Torah, who spread the Torah, and so on and so on. And that's probably what it's meant for us in order for Klal Yisrael to be together, and that's probably what it's going to be. But it definitely is going to evolve, as we see today. Singers weren't a thing 80 years ago, right? We don't know of songs that were 300 years old. Can you sing me a song that's 300 years old?
Mosh.
Can you sing me a song that is...
Ja, man kann singen, Ani und ich, Yaakov. That's more than 300 years old.
400 years old? Come on, there was no singing back then? There was.
Tuna bagels.
Klal Yisrael wasn't something that kept,
tuna bagel.
Moved Judaism together. So therefore, there was no reason why,
Auch in jener Zeiten, wenn einer gekommen Ausländer anlegen, hat es genommen Schuhe, man hat es übergesingen, man hat es gesingen, bis man hat es gekannt. Ich kenne so wie Hand, mit sind tuna Play, mit sind tuna auf meiner Play. Shish. Sind tuna a App, macht Music, man lernt sich aus neue Music. And life was also rougher. Life was tough. Es gestorben von einer ear infection.
Singer should be someone who should be a thing that you should look up to. But today, singing is what is really...
But the difference between Amul and Hand is the reach. Hand, at the guess the kind, wo wir soll raufkicken, he's going to find someone. The internet is filled. So if you're not going to make one or give him one, he's going to find his own. And you're not going to like it. You're going to be like, why? Why did you find this dude?
Giving us gasoline, as you can see, the young generation, it's their oxygen.
They're reading it up.
So you will find that people like me are going to be looked up to.
Yeah.
And look, I have a yeshiva. I didn't decide one day I want to be a Rosh Yeshiva. They were drawn to me. And God, the Hashgacha Pratis led that it should be that way. Right? And because you think it's a cool idea, it will happen. It will happen one day. And as we can see on social media, there are influencers that are not dafke Torah scholars. And it's going to happen more and more. It's just, we come from a place where the right thing to do is to look up at a Rebbe, at a Manik, at a...
But once they Chevre, the Rebbe, the Manik, wat ungoim sehen, als meinen auch het nur Geld, is that they're not so kosher v'yusher. A lot of people feel left out, feel disingenuine, feel leidig.
At a Poisik, and so on, because this is what really, held us together all these years.
Yeah.
But now we're right before Mashiach, so things are starting to integrate a little bit, The things are...
Oh, there you go, Sally.
Okay, so you're saying that, we have a little bit of this dynamic already, with the singers, and it's led you to be able to give back in a really strong way with these other kids that you're helping. And look, I think it's beautiful what you're saying, and I agree a lot. The one thing that really is tying us all together is the laws, right? It's not just our tradition, the history. It's that we follow along the same path, right? The same guiding light, that same shining light. And the Torah is our shining light, sure. But I got to sound the alarm here, and I've said this before. I got to pull the fire alarm, my friend, because there's a fire. It's only smoke right now, but there's a fire brewing, and I'm telling you that this is not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it anymore because, 30 years ago and prior to that, for thousands of years, you knew what was going on in your little town. And then, the Jewish people tried to really keep what was going on in their little tiny community, right? You didn't know what was going on in the world, and it wasn't so inviting, and it wasn't so accessible. Now, as we're developing in the digital age, it's becoming way more accessible.
Yep.
So whether we like it or not, the kids, the youth, the younger generation,
The youth.
they're seeing both sides. They're seeing what their parents are giving them and what their teachers are giving them and all the beautiful things that, our culture has to offer, and it's wonderful. But it's unavoidable. There's another evil force, whatever you want to call it, that's out there that's also drawing them in, and it's hard to look away. So I would rather give them what's out there in a certain, in a different way that I'm comfortable with, that I would rather reposition it for them over here. Because if I don't, they're going to go looking for it elsewhere.
There's
So
yes.
why not, when I meant by this concept of finding, guys like you,
Weil keiner nicht empowered, will nicht aufbringen als eine idea, weil the chances of failing is huge. And that the idea failed, has die gefailt. And wenn man involved ego, will keiner nicht failen, weil ego lässt nicht.
to become full-time influencers, to really showcase your entire life and make it it's cool, it's great. You could have the most amazing life. You could be a frum Jew and follow the Torah and follow everything and still succeed and do great things, and
Was meint succeeden bei ihm? Was heißt, haben a great life?
other people, I don't want them looking even over there for some type of entertainment value that they might be getting that isn't going to serve them. That's all I'm saying.
It's happening.
That's all I'm saying is we need more of the, media attention with Jewish things, right? Not just hearing about Israel all the time, and how awful and evil, Israel is, right? We actually should be putting some positive things, and, Jewish inventors, Jewish philosophers.
Jewish inventors. But man geht ja nicht kein schools. Man lernt sie gut nicht aus. Man darf change in the school system. Ich weiß, dass it's not going to happen, weil ich schreie so, but it changes. It's only going to change if they start changing it by the Jugend, by the youngers. By the young people.
Jewish artists, right? Things like this.
Welche Jewish artist? Wie? When? Welche class hat genommen?
That the kids could get behind. That's all I'm saying. And you're right. It is, by the way, getting more and more like this. You're 100%.
We zitten in de back dort en lacht van hem een beetje, weil het heeft gegeven to school. En weiß the challenges, en kijkt hem like, I hear what you're saying.
Zusammen süße Chaloimes.
Guy like dat zit ik zo
Right. In the last 5 years, we've made leaps and bounds and really big strides.
Ja, weil man ja kan rijden. Met ungeheuben verlieren the game very, very quick.
In how far we're
I
going.
mean, it started from Shlomo Kalach. Look, Shlomo Kalach is a world sensation.
Yes.
There's not a little town that doesn't have a Kalach. I mean, I'm talking even the most.
Yeah.
The most.
Brings a tear to my eye that you weren't able to listen to Shlomo Kalbach. And
That's what brings you a tear. Als het je kent oorzitten. Oh nee.
You know, Michael, it's really,
I
really.
was able.
You know how many times I've heard you
grew up
say
on a
in this
farm.
podcast? Probably 5 times, maybe more, maybe 7, 8 times. You know, like growing up, you know, in our culture, you know, we weren't able to do
Ja, maar het gewoon is gekend in. Als nog gekend zijn de imaginary dying.
this, or it's not okay to do that.
Weer ik even aan high school. De andere gevreman van None of Your Business podcast, the other guy, weiß ich, wie er heißt. He opened up like a or nicht gelost a school zu machen, a girls school. In Beri hat geöffnet noch einmal seine Yeshiva. Meaning noch a version von seiner Yeshiva.
So many of these, like, it's not okay and don'ts, and like, you can't, and like, what a tough way to grow up.
Ja. But days, wo es hat früher Maswe gewesen, verwusst mir gekennst in 2000 Jahre nicht wegfallen, ist wegen der Fremde. Ist wegen der Gevre.
What a hard way to grow up. You know,
Greenfield?
Michael, you know what I'm saying? What's up with that? Like, you got to have a little bit more allowances and flex.
Greenfield is heißt Greenfield, the one in the back, is still. Just schmeichelt. He's like, I just opened up a school. I was involved. Ich verstehe.
Flexibility, and like you said, you're doing this for your boys in your school.
Yes,
Is
no.
you're customizing things and you're adapting.
Look, I'm not trying to be like the serious guy in the room, and I don't want to make you look like the liberal guy in the room.
That's what's happening here, by the way. That's literally what's happening. I'm like becoming way more to one, you're the other side, and like
Perfect way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
But I think you would agree that there's certain things that you wouldn't expose your kids, and depending on the age, you know, certain things that you could trust them with, and certain things that you feel that not. And then you'll find a different household that they are more a little liberal to that, and they would think that you're crazy for being so strict and so on, so disciplined and so on. You have to understand that the reason why there were certain restrictions and so on is all of it is, nobody wants to be mean to their children. Nobody wants to just to be nasty and so on.
of course not.
Everybody has a certain.
But the
different
road to
belief
hell is
system.
paved with good intentions.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
Sie nicht, der Problem ist nicht schlecht für ein Team, was am getan. Sondern ist nur schlecht, als wenn man kommt der Sogen zu changen dann meint, dann wegen, tist es nicht, demals bist du schlecht.
Put it out.
He's on the board in YSV. In YSV hat sich gedacht zu machen. Hat gemeint, dass der größere, wie es heißt, der is on the case. I guess not, huh?
That's what happens. They think they're doing the right thing, you know. Sports. Sports is something that's not okay in the Hasidic communities.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not okay.
Oh.
They shouldn't watch it. They shouldn't be playing it. Right?
Terrible.
I think that's such a big miss.
But the same thing
it's
goes.
such a big miss.
But you see, because you only see it from your perspective, you don't see it from their perspective.
What's their perspective? What's his perspective, Beri?
I'm not trying to be here, God's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
lawyer over here,
It's
or
first time, man.
the Chassid good lawyer, but there's definitely a rhyme and a reason for everything, and I think everybody should be happy. Or
50 years zurück hat man gemacht a decision. Whatever the decision was 50 years ago, and whatever the decision gewesen is eine Sache. But jetzt, man halt schon 50 Jahre später, und the decision darf sein anders, mag man changen. Immer darf changen. Bist nicht schlecht, wenn die Test etwas, aber wenn die Wes geworden, nach dem Testen nicht, demals bist du schlecht.
open-minded to just enhance their world according to what the tools that they have and according to.
Are you accepted in the
Orzel, and he's not Burg Moshe. He's not Burg Moshe in the school. Was geht vor?
Hasidic, like the ultra Hasidic
Nicht alles ihr Geld, sagst du, Brooklyn, huh?
communities, in the Monroes of the world. In the, like right now, if you walk into Williamsburg Shul, into the main shul, you walk in, are people applauding you, or are people somewhat like...
So, wieso ist die Arbeit ist also? Koiden, wenn einer treibt etwas nahe, kickt man ihm rum, man lacht von ihm. But once it is successful, kickt man ihm auf.
very neutral about you? Like, what's the reaction to you?
I'm not a hero.
Okay, but are they distancing themselves? Like, are you accepted in these communities?
Right now, yeah, because I walk their walk, I talk their talk. I mean, there's no.
Die Chabzus hat jetzt gesagt. It is accepted because he walks the walk and talks the talk. This is crazy. So hat gunische die mit wer, die bist innenweinig. Es ist die Geist mit der Hit und Rekel, die hast der Board, bist die in.
You're one of us.
Crazy.
Reason why they should feel like Yeah, why not? I mean, if certain communities have certain naive and closed-minded ways of thinking, yes, but it's okay. Like,
No, it's not okay. It's absolutely not okay, Beri. Wie lange die weiß nicht, dass closed-minded? Weiß der nicht. But the second die sees in draußen die Welt und man lernt sich, immer sieht certain Sachen, ja, gerade von den Leaders, wenn de change it. Nicht halt dich auf deinen Weg. Again, ich verstehe, was man kann nicht changen, weil wo die Geist hat mitten, die bist gewähnt wrong.
you know, this is their life, you know, and
Und sie sagen, oh, it's their life. Ja, und verstehen wir, das ist heranwachen dort mit der Bullhorn und sagen, als die Geist auf der Hungerstreik bis sie changen. I get it. Ich verstehe. But something has to change. Otherwise fühlt man auf derselbe Road und es wird noch ärger und noch ärger. Also die Menschen werden mehr. So obviously haben sie nicht gut getan.
and you know, I only surround myself with
But ook hat een job, wo ze darf auskicken Chassidisch, meaning is een Chassidische Singer. Macht schein Geld für een Chassidische Singer. Een Singer macht schein Geld, especially einer wie ihm. So, sie sind bequem. Life is bequem. Sie nicht, darf ich zusammenkratzen, Fabreut?
with people or with communities that I feel look up to me, or where I feel like I'm being heard, or I can be positive and looked at and act so on. I think everybody should do that. And
Het früher gesagt, dass 75% von der Gevra haben nicht gewiss, wie so man leint, Luschen Kodesh. Noch alles davon sind nicht kann change? Noch alles davon sagen, sind closed-minded, but should keep it that way?
I don't think we need to like be negative towards this. I'm not talking about somebody's evil. I'm not talking that.
Yeah, but, okay. Lass mal sagen, jener nicht evil. But jenem's action kommt aus as evil. Jenem's actions, the result is evil. Wouldn't you want to stop him?
And of course, it has to be awareness that people have to be more caring and more good and
Sally, I'm
be
with you
more
on that one.
selfless and more looking out for the youth, and everything is good, but not everybody's capable of doing it.
You like what you do. You have any visions of sometimes thinking, you know, maybe I do something a little bit more risque. I do something
Oh, risque.
a little bit more. Or you care? Are you mindful of that, or is that just something that's natural to you and you like what you're doing? You're not even thinking about anything else, or are you limiting yourself because you're trying to fit into a certain?
I'm definitely a politician when it comes to making my environment and my fan base comfortable. I would not act, inappropriately to cause them uncomfortability. So
you feel like you're representing and you're trying to.
He's towing the line.
Because I'm representing, I want them to like me. I want them to hire me. I want them to think positive of me. So I would, try to be a politician in that way, like like if I'm in a bad mood, like let's say
What?
somebody put me down, right? Or somebody sucked the energy out of me. He was wasting my time too much and putting me in a corner and so on. And then now suddenly you have to sing, you have to be in a good mood. Should I sing or should I be a politician?
You got to be a puppet.
I got to be a politician.
Yeah.
Right. I cannot disappoint my customer. I cannot disappoint my family. I cannot disappoint my people.
I agree. But is that you, is what I'm asking. Is that really, really you?
Naturally?
What we're seeing, what we're seeing on stage, what we're hearing,
Nicht jede Nacht. Nicht jede Nacht, wo du siehst auf Stage, ist so innerweinig. Meaning, the way er feelt.
So
No,
we're listening to your
no,
music.
that's-
Is that really what you want and what you are,
No.
or this is what you are?
No, naturally, I'm in my headspace. I'm just like in my creativity. I'm like just
Hat a certain escape, sag. Ja, ich bin just in mijn Welt. In mijn artistische Welt.
so.
What's next?
Oh,
Great question.
Was is
next?
What's the
next?
dream? What's the evolution
So stoetje en voor etwas philosophical, allemaal hier etwas echt.
for Beri Weber?
Oh, for Beri.
Versus.
I thought you're going globally.
I am asking globally, but we can ask that as well. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, that's a part. We're all on this journey with you. What do you mean? We're all whatever
Yeah,
you're going to be doing. We're all going to be observing. We're on the train. We're watching.
Right. So what's next for me individually, and then I'll go globally. I'll try to go there. What's next for me? Rebirth, renewal. Renewal. I just started from New the Yeshiva. I'm putting out a new album.
Hey, there you go, Brooklyn. He's spitting out a new album.
Hopefully in a month or two.
Oh, nice.
For me, it's renewal. It's like a whole new message. Every probably the next year or two, the songs that I'm going to be singing is going to be based on my new album. If I have to put it in a word, it's probably renewal. It's like my life just changed. I committed myself to be every day in yeshiva for many hours and to care for these chunk of boys, to be their father and their mother and their everything. And hopefully in my personal life as well, like once I'm in the zone, to refresh my relationships with my children, with my family, my wife.
Okay, das ist bla 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 bla.
My parents and my kids, like
Nicht schlecht, aber
while I'm in the Rolls Royce, why not, just like have all the perks, that's my personal life. What's next, Klal Yisrael? I think unity, because, as we see that, technology, everybody's in everybody's face, in a sense. Like, it's like you can't hide anything anymore. Like, it's people by force are being vulnerable and real. And you start, like, deciphering what's good, what's bad, what's evil, what's appropriate.
Was ist Emmas und was ist nicht? Das ist die real Sache, was ist geschehen.
What's not. Like, things are happening, like, so fast. So I think the only way to survive is by accepting others, by saying, oh, okay, I have that part of me. I could deal with it. I hope so.
Love it. I love it too.
Okay.
We always end our podcast with asking you who you would think would be a good guest sitting in that seat. Someone that someone that you think would be someone that would add value to our listeners and to our...
Wir darf machen das Polymarket. Wo geht sagen? Kids can't read Lushna Kodesh, surprise. But jeder geht ungetein mit einer Louis Vuitton. Jeder geht ungetein mit China sweaters. Okay, jeder Match bei der Chasana, Sally. That's the point.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Who do you think he's going to say? Du wird am Ehrlich? Sally. We're not asking dead. We're asking alive here.
What do you really want to What do you want to hear from this? Do you want it to be a colorful thing, or you specifically
we both want different things. So you want, if you want, you can ask us.
It says none of, which attracts you, something like the media, like something negative. Then your business in blue.
Louis Vuitton never could spell.
You're aware that this is the psychology of this.
I never broke it down the way you just did, by the way.
I'm sure Eli Bosch did when
I never broke it down. I'm looking at this thing.
Maybe Lipa. Yeah, he's not going to say Lipa. I doubt he's going to say Lipa.
For, I don't know, over a year now.
Yeah,
Like, this is not your first rodeo. It's not.
Never even really thought about the fact.
Could you imagine the first rodeo, Sally? It had to be the first rodeo. Then somebody would be like, hey, it's not my first rodeo. Be like, what? We didn't invent rodeos? No. A few weeks ago, there was a rodeo, and I was a part of it.
That your business is in blue, and that none of is black, and that's kind of how we. I don't think that was
like
that
you guys are businessmen, and that's why it probably has the word business in it. You probably want to attract business people,
right? I mean, we don't want to really talk about
not
business.
Really. No, we don't want to talk about business.
We don't want to.
Okay,
so
so
really none of you. I want to talk about you.
So can I guess in the
Oh,
Like, I learned today about Beri Whale. I have a whole different perspective on you. I had no idea that I didn't even consider you to be a singer anymore. I really don't. Like, that's not your essence. That's not who you are.
Yes,
it's pretty wild. You are really like, now I get the spirituality part, by the way. You were trying to explain it early in the beginning. I'm a spiritual person. It's got nothing to do with religion. It's got nothing to do with it. It's strictly just a connection to just people and to just trying to get better together. I'll get better. You get better. Let's figure it out. Let's see how we can be happy together. That's all what it's about for you. And that's an amazing thing.
I would have guests over my house, people who were, behaving a certain way. And I would get feedback from my family like, what do you have?
I think it's talking the last 5 years, Shmili Ungar and Shmili Lemmer kicked his ass. I don't think so, I don't think so, Brooklyn. Beri is busy. Beri is busy. Busy. Is zeer stark aufgehabt in der Litwische Welt. Is Ellie Weber related to him? I don't think so. Is Ellie Weber a puppener?
In common with this guy, like he's so not your speed, like And I'm like, why don't I have in common with this guy? And they're gonna be like, you do A, B, and C, and
ich habe nur gegangen, einen Film mit dem in Englisch. Es ist geht.
He does A, B, and C. I'm like, wow, I didn't see that A, B, C. Like I just saw something. Like I saw the entertainment part of it or that part of it. It's like, yes, God has. I could call it gifted because it's. I think it's a positive thing. He's created me.
Ellie Weber is Bells. Okay, there you go. Du hast dann Teritz. Du hast dann Teritz alles get. I don't think they're cousins.
In a way that my brain sees, a certain way.
Is a skwerer. Ellie Weber is a skwerer.
Certain thing, and that's what attracts. That's what allows me to be doing what I do. Technically, if you think about it, I'm a guy that is in the 40s. I'm a 40-year-old. And these kids are 16 years old. It could be very rough, to go down the 16-year-old brain. But I don't have to be in their brain. I don't have to walk that walk and talk that talk. I just have to connect two things that we have in common. And boom.
Yeah.
That's it. So anyways, going back to my question is none of your business.
Very successful by Litvish, but flopped badly by Mechul's concert. Maybe watch his performance by Mechul's concert.
What is the type of
Beri might say Viggy. I highly doubt as Manuman is in Zankop. I highly doubt. Like 99.999% als hat nicht Manuman. Meaning to say is als hindert weiß man doch nicht.
Entertainment or colors that you want to have that in order for you to ask, do you want me just to pick a random name?
No one cares about Ellie Weber. All right.
I like that you're asking that. It's generally growth oriented, meaning you could be an entertainer, you could be a CEO, and you could be a politician, but how are you?
De Sache ist, alles geht, ich habe getracht auf jeden Fall, wo soll ich gehen? Wo gehe ich offern zu gehen? You know what I mean? Like it's...
growing, what are your challenges?
Shout out to God and Viggy. Brooklyn, I'll take that.
Where are you from?
He better say Viggy or else, huh? Imagine, he says Viggy and I faint. Give me a doctor. Do we have a doctor here?
What are you doing and what's next?
You're so sick of goodness. Yeah, we feel you, Sally.
The concept, meaning not your business.
Right.
We could talk about your business for a minute, but the growth aspect.
So I think we covered most of it, but whom I think just popped in my brain that I think.
Just imagine Obezug Viggy, huh? This would be some 25 minutes laughing situation.
Could relate to the stuff that I'm saying. I could probably you would look at him as if you look at me as a monkey, not in a bad way, but a certain character. I think that person would also have that element in himself. Is probably Shlomo Gazen from Zusha. Did you interview him yet?
No.
Shlomo, the singer,
Didn't he say he's coming on?
He did. Yeah. Is it his brother? Not his brother, his partner. He just moved recently.
So Zusha is just the name of the band, which is not sure exactly if it's Reb Zusha, Reb Melech's brother.
So they said they have to come together. So we have to do a schedule where they come together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. That's a good call.
Spiritually, I connect a lot with Shlomo. It's just I'm sure I connect with a lot of other people. But just what
every time I see him, I ask him to explain me a line in Tehillim.
Oh yeah.
and he always does. And
Yeah, he's very connected to Rabbi Pinson. Rabbi Pinson
yes.
is a very deep guy.
Yeah.
sure, for sure. So he's one of your pick, but we already have him on schedule, so we'll have to go for
good.
another one.
Okay,
Who's
go for another
person?
one.
Whoa, we're getting twice, huh? Double nicht zoeken, man, oh, man. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just making fun because the chances as zoeken is slim to none.
who would you like for if you start?
Does it need to be a famous guy?
No, it doesn't. He likes it when it's famous, but
I get them out, blame it off.
I'm a very
I please you or
materialistic
please
person.
him?
I like, fun stuff.
put it this
right?
way: if you open
Fun?
the podcast tomorrow, who would be your first guest?
Oh. I wouldn't go for fun.
Who would you go for?
I would go probably for a psychologist or for
A deep thinker.
probably.
Is there
My one part of my brain is like, pick me, hello. Sag, wo's ga ich verkaufen, Oberga, ja. Wo's ga ich zoeken? What type of situation is it going to be reddendick? You know, what am I selling for an hour and a half? Nothing really. I mean, at least that's what I feel. Warum ich schreibe? Warum ich schreibe would be nice.
someone in mind that you have, like someone that
Manus Friedman?
Name one. Boop. Steal.
Manus Friedman. Do you know him by chance?
Yeah.
Can you ask him to join?
I could.
I
Yeah.
would love him. Yeah, he's.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
We would all choose you. The problem is, Ali, what am I really weiß man? Da tun kima mas bezan Viggy. But yeah. Maybe one day.
Yes, we're not going to get into that now.
Benny Friedman's father.
The singer Benny Friedman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He puts out a lot of great
You
content,
will say about Tyler's video? All right.
and he delivers it very clearly. And I'm a big fan. So if you can bring him on, that would be great. Yeah, you can ask him to join us.
Awesome.
Yeah, we usually ask the person to call in now on the thing, but we're not gonna push you to that level now unless you're okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so call him.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
That was funny. Ay.
Unless you're okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so call him.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. He usually wouldn't.
Usually I
wasn't-
would say call it
See, he wasn't paying attention.
guy right now and ask him to join and let him come on.
On
Next
the
week
air.
we'll have him do it.
Live in real time.
No.
Thinking if I should do that.
No, don't
That's why I
do
was
that.
careful.
If he's already thinking,
yeah. That if we don't
let
want
it go. Let it go.
We don't want it to be too uncomfortable. You can
Not
go-
because I'm uncomfortable, just because I'm thinking, why should I do that now? Why can I do it later?
No, do it later.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
just
do it.
more. It's more entertaining. People
Thank
watching
you to all
that
of
it
our
happens.
listeners. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to all of our guests. Thank you, Hashem. And thank you for joining us. And thank you to the Prime Source production team. This was an incredible episode. I really
Hab er nur gehad von ihm. Hab er nur gehad von Beri. I mean, so wir kennen es besser. Ich fühle, wie sie gewinnen ein Advertisement für seine Yeshiva. Und ich meine, man kennt daran eine Sache mehr in der Singen. Ai. Es wollte gewinnen Sache besser. So gewinnen Sache mehr Geschmacker, wenn redet Yiddish. Weil, wenn man redet Yiddish, ist es auch mehr fluent, es ist auch mehr dort, man versteht sich auch besser. Beri is great, no shade to Beri. No, Beri is fine. Listen, er ist ein chassidischer Singer. Er singt mit Herz. And, you know, the Haruki Mamas bezan of English wasn't from the best, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so jetzt gehen wir gehen zu a music video, was heißt, oh, dann. Nissim, Chaim Green, 2 days ago, 2,500 views. I'm gonna finish with this video. Got me finishing the live. Was hat Brooklyn? Brooklyn hat gesucht. Was hat Brooklyn gesucht? Struggle has a great podcast. Okay, so episode mit das Watschen morgen. Shout out to Sally, Viggy, and God. I'll take that. Field v AI. Alles geht's. Das wissen, das ist dann Superchat. Ich habe dir geschickt, das Superchat. Ja, das ist AI.
V'loi necham Eloikim derech eretz plishtim.
Okay, the music video is not doing its... Zit het niet kan toeven?
Hij wist dir wil zijn nicht leigen in eine soja.
Ik kijk dat ze aan midget doen.
V'loi necham Eloikim derech eretz plishtim.
Cheaper.
De Eiwester will sein nicht leigen in eine Sojen.
That's right, Thomas.
Loi necham Eloikim derech eretz plishtim. De Eiwester will sein nicht leigen in eine Sojen. Loi necham Eloikim derech eretz plishtim. De Eiwester will sein nicht leigen in eine Soja. Weil der Wascheffel gibt nicht keine Sojen, wo's die kennst nicht beistein. Wo's die kennst nicht beistein. Oi, wat dir es gegeben, meint das die kennst es beistein. Die kennst in die
Shirley.
Rest des beistein. Weil der Wascheffel gibt nicht keine Sojen.
Thank you, Shirley.
Kennst nicht beistein. Wo's die kennst nicht beistein. Oi, wat dir es gegeben, meint das die kennst es beistein. Die kennst
Ja, die
kennst es beistein. Oi, was die arme Sorgen in die kennst
Aber ich dachte,
es
ich war
nicht
Kinder.
beistein. Du feels die kennst es nicht beistein. Ihr habt euch dich es gegeben, meint das die kennst es Bauweinstein. Die kennst in die Rest des Bauweinstein. Da, 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 da. Die West des Beistein. Eine Säue. Eine Säue. Eine Säue. Eine Säue. Die West des Beistein.
Okay. Die Sache mit dem Music Video ist, nimmt weg the focus of the music. You know what I mean? Ich darf hier behinden the music a paar Mal, bis sie sehen, zu den Dingen ist etwas. Because the music video gewesen, see wie heißt das. And by the way, AI, hold on. Brooklyn hat mir geschickt, du etwas funny. I'm gonna finish with this one. Hold on.
You made this coffee for me? Thank you for always having me in mind.
What?
Die Koffie habe ich gemacht von Miriam. Miriam!
You made this coffee for me? Thank you for always having me in mind.
What are we watching there? What are we watching? Brooklyn. What are you? Look at all the shorts.
Iedereen, ik ben draußen van de grootste besmetteris in Kriesjaar. Ze doen veel accidenten. Je laat toch volgen stoßen, dus de public safety is ook. Please, seid nicht kommt so eklige Robbe.
What?
Excuse me, miss. Do the men work or do they study the Torah?
Do you have a job or you're wasting your time on social media feeding people with false propaganda just to get millions of views?
Almost and then we'll stop with this one. Oh, it's a lot manish. We gaan eens gaan count of jealous gram. All right. The AI videos is definitely it's getting better and better. And sooner than later, we're not going to know the difference. Sooner than later, gaat es auskicken Ziget. So, what interesting situation. Maar ich wissen, wo sie auch, wo es nicht. Moish 299. Hello and welcome. All right, Hebra. Bijna schon mal bei. Ja. All right, Hebra. Sie kommen in der Zeit. Wie mit auf sich gesegnen. Darf sagen goodbye. It's kind of easy no matter how many times I try, but I gotta do it. We'll get my score for you down to gewinnen. Eine lange Zeit, eine kurze Zeit. Da ist zum Beispiel auf eine andere Tab. Ich mache mir YouTube eine Tab, warum ich meine die. Thank you. We'll get my score for alle Likers, Shares, Commenters, Subscribers, and especially members. Drücken the join button. It goes a long way. We'll get my special thanks for Lieberbrach van schicken the super chat. Gang 98 van schicken a super chat. And Sally van schicken a super chat. This is what keeps the channel going. This is the oil to the machine. Sprinkles to the ice cream. Hoer to the camel. Holtzie a dremmel. If you get what I'm saying. All right. A housekeeping. Morgen 10 nog 9 live. We'll see you all there. Besides if something comes up. And Gevre, have a wonderful and awesome night. Thank you. Really, thank you for the opportunity. And we'll see you all mañana. And until next time, stay kind to one another. Peace. My pleasure, Sally. My pleasure. Bye, music. Keep criticizing.